put him on the spot.
What's up? Yeah, play a rejoiner just so you know to send it back. All right, thanks.
And welcome back, Skunks fans, as we're about to begin the starting process of this ball game between your Jamestown Tarp Skunks and the Geneva Red Wings right here on WRFA. Once again, along with Max Pinjator and as well as our executive producer, Jason Sample, I am Norm Rodriguez. And again, for anybody listening to the radio broadcast, that was a whole interview between you, Max, and the pitching coach, Barry Powell. Personally, from getting to know him, very nice gentleman.
He is a very nice guy. I had to come right at him with that first question, asking him what his favorite pitcher on the team is. I knew he was going to give, a smart answer, but I just had to do it. And, if I interview Coach Bazile, I'm going to ask the same question. So,
got to put him on the spot.
Oh, yeah.
And during that also, there was also a ceremonial first pitch. One of the people that did that was actually former Jammers head coach Anthony Barone. He actually brought the Jamestown Jammers home a PGCBL championship the final year before their ownership moved to Milwaukee and became the Milkman. Barone actually went with them and was their head coach. I'm not sure if he still is or not, but I know he had been at the minimum. And for anybody that is not sure, last night Jamestown was on the road, and they posted a 20-4 victory in 7 innings over the Niagara Power. That's the third time these teams have played each other, and Jamestown has mercy ruled them.
And the Niagara Power has always been, one of the bigger teams, at least at the start of the season. They were one of the bigger teams in the division, and now they've kind of slowly fallen off the boat, and now they're currently in last place. But any victory, especially after the loss they had against the Pioneers, the 13-2 loss that you and I were here for, and that they just fell off the boat on that one. Any victory after a big loss is always big.
Yep, well, Max, both teams are lining up. We're about to have the national anthem. We will see you all on the other side. Skunks, Red Wings, up next right here on WRFA.
We ask that please join us for a moment of silence. Thank you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and remove your caps as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
So once again, that was the national anthem, and Travis Perry getting the starting call on the rubber for the Skunks this evening as the starting pitcher, and he's been one of the 1-2 punches of starting pitchers, as well as Ian Korn. It's still he's not on crutches today from what I'm seeing, so that's got to be a good sign. So there's possibly no bone fracture on the ankle from what you were telling me, Max, but we do got the starting batting order for Geneva. The first 3 that Perry will face will be Shane Dukes, the designated hitter, then Nick Castellano, the catcher, and Nick Searcy, who's got 6 home runs on the season. He is at first base. And then 4 through 10, Mike Gorham, the right fielder, Jordan Jaffe, the third baseman, Ray Ortiz, the second baseman, Max Hitman, the shortstop, Andrew Winnie, the extra hitter, Brandon Gelpy in left field, and Andrew McDermott at center. Their starting pitcher is number 28, Augie Walters. And it looks like you're trying to find a stat line, Max.
I do, and you mentioned that Travis Perry is on the bump today. I had him, and then I lost him. There he is. He's played in 6 games. He started in 5 of them. He's got a total of 28 2/3 innings with 20 hits and only 9 earned runs. So he's doing pretty good. He's walked 13 and struck out a whopping 27. And he's got 3 wins and 2 losses, which with a very low 2.83 ERA. So he's definitely one of their aces, if not the ace.
Indeed, and record-wise for both these teams, Jamestown, if the postseason started right now, they would be in its top 4 teams in both divisions. Jamestown's in 3rd. They're 17 and 13, as well as 1 tie. And the Red Wings, they're right behind them at 14 and 13. So they're just a shade over 500. And while we are waiting, we're going to give you Jamestown's batting order as well. Leading off will be Trey Zarowski, the shortstop. Then Mark Tucker, the second baseman, in the 2 spot. Batting third at third base, Cody Bay, down by the bay where the tropical fruits grow. And in the cleanup spot will be Will Durrell, who's in left field. Then 5 through 10, Captain Johnny Campus, the Golden Glove at catcher. And then member of the Murderers Row, Yogi Hardigan at DH. And then 7 through 10 will be Henry Martinez in center, Pat Bigham in first, Jordan King at right, and Julian Thompson, who is being the extra hitter. But right now it's going to be Shane Dukes, the DH, coming up to start the ball game here between the Skunks and the Red Wings.
Travis Perry is doing his signature walk around the mound, stomp on the I don't even know what they have in this league. Normally they have like a little bit of a tar on the back end of the mound to kind of get some stickiness in your cleats.
Well, here comes Perry's first pitch of the ball game, and it is low, ball one.
And first pitch is at 6:33 this afternoon. Still good enough for matinee baseball, I guess.
Of course, as the 1-0 is on the way by Perry, and Dukes fouls it off for strike one. Count goes even.
I do not think Dukes expected a slow curveball there. He looked a little bit out in front. Very lucky to fight that one off.
So 1-1 pitch on the way by Perry, and this one's hit the left, and that's going to drop for a base hit. So right off the bat, Geneva, Dukes with the single to start it off, and now it's going to be Nick Castellana, the catcher.
One batter in, and we officially do not have a no-hitter for Travis Perry. Very, such a shame, you know.
Well, they're not as easy as they may seem.
Yeah, I know that, but
Nolan Ryan's got the most with 7, and none of them were ever perfect games.
That's just sad.
Castellana looking to advance Dukes at least another 90 feet with a base hit. Here's the next pitch by Perry. Swing and a miss. Clearly went around the plate. Looked like a half-hearted check swing, but strike one in favor of Perry.
I think Castellana got the take sign there, and midway through his swing realized that he did not take.
Here's the next pitch by Perry on the way. Swing and a miss, strike two.
I'm sitting fastball on here. You know, you just threw 2 fastballs right by him. I'd go fastball up and in, try and get out in front of him.
Top of the stairs.
Just hopefully not too far and
right.
Too far up and in.
0-2 count. Perry gets the sign from Campus. Here's the pitch. Swung on, that's fouled off, and it's going into the concourse. Count will stay 0-2.
I was right with the fastball, but he didn't really place it where Campus wanted it. Campus was going inside, but pitch leaked a little bit too far over the heart of the plate and got fouled off.
Count still 0-2. Pick off on Dukes. Bounced off the glove of Pat Bigham, but Dukes did get back in safely. And ever since O'Shaughnessy exited because of his knee injury, there's kind of been a revolving door at first base. Sometimes it's Jack Davis. We've seen Kane McGee the last home game, and now it's Pat Bigham as the next pickoff attempt, but back in safely is Dukes. And from the road game, because catching part of it, Bigham also started yesterday in Jamestown's 20-4 win over the Power.
And he did go 1 for 3 with 2 runs. He got that walk in the late game.
And caught looking on the outside corner, strike 3. So first strikeout of the game for Perry. So give him a big grand old scoop of Perry ice cream, as now it'll be Nick Searcy, the first baseman up the bat. And I did find out from their play-by-play broadcaster who's beside us before the start of the game, he is dealing with some arm trouble, so we'll just have to wait and see how he does. But last home game, we saw Searcy. You weren't here, Max, but it was Colin and Wood and I calling the game. He had a golden sombrero, struck out 4 times.
And that's something you never want to write home about.
Here's Perry's next pitch, and that's right down Broadway for strike 1.
I don't know if you guys at home heard it, but there was an air horn over there by the third base dugout. Hopefully we'll hear a lot of that today. Always fun.
Perry gets a sign from Campus. Campus in a bit of a butterfly stance for this one. Here's the next pitch, and that one is low. Ball 1, count goes even. And again, Searcy, he has been the muscle of Geneva. I saw on their stat line they got 7 home runs the team. He's got 6 of them.
Yeah, he is the first baseman. He is the third batter, and a pickoff attempt just not in time for Perry, and Dukes is safe at first. The third batter in the lineup is oftentimes your best hitter, whether it's best power, best contact, but you really want a good mix of both, and this guy seems to have it.
Here's Perry's next pitch, and that is high and inside. Count goes 2-1, and Duke's playing a little bit of deception there on the base pads. He's been getting a good lead off the bag.
He does. He's got probably a good, I'd say 12 or so feet, which is a pretty dangerous lead in any category. So,
how many steals does he have on the season? I do see you've got the stat sheet as the next pitch comes in and is outside for a 3-1 count.
And if you just give me 1 second here, he's actually, one of the higher in the batting average category with 349, but he only has 1 stolen base so far on the year.
Maybe not many opportunities to use the speed, because usually leadoff guys are known for taking off. And another pickoff by Perry, but back in safely is Dukes.
He's got 1 double and 1 home run so far on the year, so that might be a part of the reason. He's gotten on base with a hit 15 times.
Perry behind the count, 3-1. Here's another pickoff, but back it safely is Dukes.
I think someone needs to tell Travis Perry that he only has 1 stolen base on the year. He's not at risk of going again. Then again, with a 3-1 count with 1 down, a hit and run is always in the cards.
You also don't want to be the victim of a strike him out, throw him out.
Campus does have a cannon behind the plate.
Here's the 3-1, and that's a chopper to third, but lost balance. Recovered there by Zarowski, but he's not going to get there. Not by much, but great effort by Zarowski, but the throw just was not in time.
Zarowski was trying to, come into contact with his inner Derek Jeter. I know he's not a Yankees fan. I figured that one out in our pregame interview a while back.
Who does he pull for?
He pulls for, I believe what he said was the Pirates.
I see.
Because he is from the Pittsburgh area.
That's fair.
So I'm not too upset about it. At least it's not a Dodgers fan, If you're listening to this game, I know you're in the stands. Henry Martinez's parents.
Yes, they're back for another game. Got to talk to them before the start, and also found out that Henry's grandfather enjoys the broadcast as well. That's always great to hear that family enjoy the broadcast, as Perry's first pitch to Mike Gorham hit the heart of the plate for strike 1. Runners on first and second, just 1 out. So if Gorham can get a hit into the outfield, that could possibly drive home Dukes.
Especially with the speed that he's got.
Here's the 0-1 by Perry, and this one is foul. It's going to go to the bleachers. It's free souvenir, anybody, as it takes a high bounce, and 0-2 count. Perry is ahead.
And it sounds like someone caught it.
Off a bounce.
Off of a bounce, and everyone's cheering for it. I wonder who caught it.
It's always great when it's a young kid who either usually does bat boy work or ball boy. And the best part is you can get autographs for it after the game. Perry ahead in the count, 0-2. I'm sure he wouldn't mind a second strikeout, or even better, the grand old pitcher's best friend, the double play. First to third is a force at any 3. Here's the pitch. Outside, ball 1, but Perry's still ahead in the count, 1-2.
I have no doubt that Perry was going for a swing and a miss on that pitch, but now with the 1-2 count, I'm sure he's going to try and get like a slow. If he throws a splitty, he's probably going to throw the splitter down in the zone, trying to induce a ground ball towards the right side of the infield. But, a strikeout is always good.
1-2 pitch by Perry, and that's foul, and it hits off the press box, and it was near the side of where the PA and the DJ are at.
Actually, I think that one hit off the plexiglass.
Huh. Well, plexiglass is always a good thing.
Especially when it's protecting our camera equipment.
Count still 1-2.
But they can't get plexiglass to protect our favorite baseball announcers, Norm Rodriguez and Max Pinjator.
Sometimes it is what it is. We can weather the storm. 1-2 on the way, fouled off. Count stays 1-2, and Gorham making Perry work here.
Another payoff pitch coming by. Perry is now, putting yourself in the mind of a pitcher. Remember, this is chess, not checkers, right?
Yes,
you're not just throwing whatever pitch you can. You're trying to sequence pitches. He just threw 2 straight off-speed pitches. He's probably going to throw him a fastball and say, hey, I bet you can't hit this.
Well, here's the 1-2, and that's going to drop in the center for a base hit. Dukes is going to get waved home. Throw by Martinez is cut up. Nope, and holding off is Dukes. Third base coach was actually waving him home, but I think he saw the throw to the cutoff man, Bigham, and he'll wisely stay at third. Bases loaded, just 1 out. Jordan Jaffe coming up to bat. And 3 hits already in the first inning for Geneva.
And while Campus is making a quick talk to Travis Perry, his pitcher, I believe that the third base coach made a smart call. I'm sure Henry Martinez was written in the scouting report as having a cannon of an arm. He definitely got that throw off with some high velocity, and Dukes was given the stop sign as he was rounding third.
So Jaffe with a chance to get at least 1 run in for Geneva. It's a force out at any 4 bases, so not a bad situation if you're Perry as he gets a sign from Campus. And here's the next pitch. This one's popped up. It's in play. There's going to be no tag up, I would assume, as Tucker backing up. Oh, it drops on the dirt.
Infield Fly Rule.
Fly Rule. So very fortunate that it hit the ground, because if that's not called, well, there's also a possibility Dukes could have been nailed at home because he didn't even start running. But that's the first infield fly rule we've seen all year here.
Well, an infield fly rule, Norm, in case anyone, I'm sure you know what it is, or in case anyone doesn't know, whenever there's a runner on first and second, or the bases are loaded with less than 2 outs and a pop fly in the infield with relative ease could be caught, the batter is automatically out, so that if you can't intentionally drop the ball and get a double play.
Well, here's the next pitch, and it's in the inside corner for strike 1. It's Ray Ortiz, the second baseman, that's up, and Perry can get him out. He'll get out of this jam.
Yeah, and especially with that pop fly out for number 2, the infield is playing back to their normal depth. You saw Bigham and Bay squeezing the infield grass.
Here's the 0-1 by Perry, and that's low. Count goes even at 1s.
And also with the bases loaded, Norm, you got the nice little force at any play, or force on any base.
Indeed.
You can get creative here.
Yep, it's Dukes at third, Searcy at second, and Gorham on first. 3 singles. Count 1-1, 2 outs. Here's Perry's next pitch on the way, and it goes through Campus's legs, and Duke's gonna head home easily for the first run of the game. Geneva up 1-0, and that's been a problem with some Jamestown pitching throughout the seasons. Even though Campus more often than not can block those pitches, there's just some where there's no way he'd be able to, and I think that was the case. That went through his legs like Bill Buckner in the World Series.
Now, all respect to Johnny Campus here. He is, one of the better catchers I've seen at this level of play, but you got to remember, if you're a catcher, your hands move faster than your body, so you have to twist your hands and block that with your glove and not with your knee or your body. The 2-1 comes in, and it's a swing and a miss for strike 2, evening the count. And now, unfortunately, there is no force at any base.
But the good news for Perry is that he's still got the 2 outs.
Of course. 2 outs is always good if you're a pitcher.
So Perry 1 strike away from getting out of the first with just the 1 run. Here's the 2-2. Fouled off, going over the top of the bleachers into the concourse.
And there's a souvenir for some lucky fan. And I see 3 little kids running for it. 1 turning around and sprinting towards the grandstand.
So count 2-2, 2 outs. We got that triple deuce for the last 2 pitches. Perry gets the sign from Campus. And here's the payoff. Fouled off again and in the concourse once again. So some free souvenirs going back there as the count still is 2-2.
And deuces are wild here, 2 on, 2 gone, 2-2 count.
If only Perry had the Joker card.
If only, Or at least, 2 aces, pocket aces. That would be nice.
Well, here's the 2-2 again. And it's another one that goes off Campus, but the runners will stay put. Campus, though, good job alertly getting that ball, because that could have possibly been a second run as the count goes full.
Searcy's on third base. He's not known for his legs, so he probably was a little bit hesitant to break for the plate. But if he had a good jump, I would assume that he would have made it there. I haven't really seen him try and run as fast as he can. But
well, should Ortiz get walked, Hitman would be up next. He is on deck. It's a full count, 2 outs, a run on 3 hits in this inning to start it off for Geneva. Here's the payoff. And he got him looking, strike 3. So Perry, 2 backward Ks. He avoids even further damage Geneva, though, with 3 hits and a wild pitch, they take a 1-0 lead, and Max, I'm going to shift it over to you.
Hey, thank you very much, Norm. I'd like to remind you guys that support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years of serving the community's automotive needs with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. At Schultz Auto Group, all repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for every automotive need, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. The next generation of auto care is already at Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks community baseball on your community radio station, WRFA-LP. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com. And we hear some nice Pirates of the Caribbean theme music. I wonder...
It's a movie trivia that's one of the popular games, the Dipson movie trivia. That's been popular for years.
Well, I just spoiled it.
Well, I never cared for the movies personally. Johnny Depp has never been one of my favorite actors. But it's Augie Walters on the mound for Geneva right now, as he'll be taking on Zarowski, Tucker, and Bay to start off the bottom part of the first inning. And stat-wise, he's got 5 games. He started off 5, 24 innings pitched, only 13 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were allowed, 11 walks, 22 strikeouts, 2-1. That's where the walk ratio should be at the minimum. And his ERA for a starter, 0.75.
But that's pretty good. You know, you can't really say anything too bad about that. 24 innings pitched on 5 starts.
And he's 4-0 as well.
Yeah, that's pretty good. 4-0. That guy is definitely their ace. I'd be worried if I were Coach Bazile and company.
Well, it's only a 1-0 deficit as Trey Zarowski comes in. And again, he's the newest skunk, but he's been playing very well since he joined, whether he's been on third base or short. I'd say he's the utility infielder.
And he is stuck at a 1-for-3 batting average with a .333 through 27 at-bats. 9 hits, as math dictates. The first pitch is a ground ball, speared on a hop by the first baseman, and a foot race to the bag, and Zarowski is out. 3 unassisted.
So Mark Tucker, the second baseman, now up, and Zarowski, he's an eager McBeaver. When he sees the first pitch, if he likes it, he will swing. He's done it throughout the season at home, and he did it again, but was unable to get on base. However, Tucker, he's also got great speed as well. He's a switch hitter, but usually bats on the left as he is right now. Next pitch by Walters is right at the heart for strike 1.
I can guarantee you if Cersei, the first baseman for the Red Wings, was right-handed, he probably wouldn't have been able to make that play.
And another pitch right down Broadway for strike 2. So, Mr. Tucker, you're going to have to start swinging the bat a little bit so you don't get caught looking.
Hopefully he doesn't have the same issue as his counterpart, Nate Johnson, never swinging, as that one is fouled off his shin.
Well, he's got that guard on his foot, thankfully.
Oh, it was his back shin, actually. The one where he doesn't have the guard on.
So Tucker getting ready to see another 0-2 pitch. Walter's shaking off a sign from Castellana. Now he's got the one he wants. And here comes the 0-2 again. Outside, ball 1.
Definitely going for a swing and a miss. That looked like a 2-seam fastball that's darting away from the batter here.
Here's the 1-2, and that's low and outside. Count goes even at 2. And from looking at the roster, he is a tall, a real thin guy. 6'3", $185. He's a right-handed freshman, and he goes to College of the Holy Cross. As the next pitch is hit into the shallow outfield. Chasing it down is McDermott, but it does get caught and left by Gelby for the second out. And Walters has a shot for a 1-2-3 inning as Cody Bay, the third baseman, is up. He's batting a flat .300 on the year.
Will Durrell is coming out into the dirt circle to clear the way for Cody Bay. That's something Will Durrell likes to do. He's a bit of a jokester, to be honest. He was, I mentioned this on the last broadcast, he audio bombed Eric Krause's interview.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, it was kind of funny.
But sadly, he, along with Eli Shedd, who are both Wagner pitchers, not on the team anymore due to inning limits, as the next pitch by Walters is outside for ball 1. And if Bay can get on base, more often than not, we may see him trying to steal it. He does lead the team with 14 of those.
And with Durrell in the cleanup spot right behind him, the pitch is a chopper foul down the third base line. With Durrell behind him in the on-deck circle, that is a lethal combination, Bay and Durrell. So,
yep,
never know.
They're 2 of 4 players with double-digit steals. The other 2 are Martinez and Hardigan. Durrell's got 10 on the year, and the 1-1 on the way. Bay hits a popper, and underneath it is Ortiz. He makes the catch. So Walters goes 1-2-3 on Jamestown to start the first inning, and Jamestown behind 1-0. But we'll be back for more Skunks action right here on WRFA. Walters goes 1-2-3 on Jamestown to start the first inning, and Jamestown behind 1-0. But we'll be back for more Skunks action right here on WRFA. Walters goes 1-2-3 on Jamestown to start the first inning, and Jamestown behind 1-0. But we'll be back for more Skunks action right here on WRFA.
And their families and friends with the critical information, support, and resources necessary to live a full and
And we're about to start the top of the second inning here between Jamestown and Geneva. And quick recap of the first inning for both teams. Geneva got 3 base hits and also scored a run, but the run was scored off of a wild pitch by Perry in which Dukes crossed home plate. And Jamestown, their batters went 1-2-3 to start it, but it's only the second inning. The game is still in its infancy as Perry will be dealing with Hitman, Winnie, and Gelpy, the 7 through 9 hitters, to start off the top of inning number 2.
Perry's definitely going to be trying to shake off that rocky start, allowing 3 straight hits, or, well, 1 hit, then a strikeout, and then 2 straight hits, and allowing a run. He's going to try and put up a goose egg, as it looks like there was a little bit of confusion as to who's up next. Perry's definitely going to be trying to shake off that rocky start, allowing 3 straight hits.
I do know sometimes if there's an illegal or an inadvertent wrong batter, it's usually an automatic out.
It's actually 2 outs, Norm.
I've heard of something like that, but it was only vague.
There was a little bit of
but
confusion as
here's
to who's
Perry's
up
first
next.
pitch to start inning number 2.
I don't know.
And that is inside, ball 1. I do know sometimes if there's an
the batter that is up and the batter that was supposed to be up are both considered out. 2 outs, Norm.
That would make sense, though.
Yeah.
Next pitch by Perry is fouled off. Bigum trying to get to it, but it hits off of the dirt, and count goes even at 1.
I don't know. I think he definitely could have made a play on that. The batter that was supposed to be up. Not really. Could have at least shown some gumption and went for a dive. I mean, that's what I would have done when I played first base.
Hey, David Wright made one from third, falling on his butt and catching it barehanded. And count goes even at 1. But here's the 1-1 by Perry, and that is high, ball 2.
Not really. Believe me, as a first baseman, you don't get to make a lot of cool plays. I mean, you get to scoop the ball every time there's a bad throw, but, you know, diving for a play is always fun. Here's the 2-1, fouled off into the nylon netting behind home plate to even the count at 2.
Honestly, though, the batter right now, he's got one of the coolest last names I've ever heard, Max Hitman. I wonder if he was maybe named after Mad Max.
I don't know. He's got a nice first name, too.
Well, here's the 2-2, and that's in the dirt. Count goes full.
To even the count at, I mean, Guys named Max are always cool, right, Norm?
Whether it be Max, Maxwell, Maximilian, Maxine.
Hitman.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if he was.
Yeah, I mentioned the Norm at the top of the broadcast. His first name, too. In Top Gun, as that ball is slicing down the line and right, and
That's foul.
foul. Almost caught by Jordan King, who was a little bit slow to get up.
I think he may have just either knocked the wind out of him or maybe tweaked his foot or his ankle. But if he is hurt to where, oh, he's up, that's always a good sign. He's up on his own power. I think maybe he was just stunned that he fell on the dirt. And sometimes when the dirt's dry and you fall and slide on it, that's brush burns written all over it.
I don't really think that was the issue. I think the ball bounced and hit him somewhere, whether it's in the gut or somewhere else.
Or maybe in the mouth. I remember seeing something a while back when he was still playing. Mike Matheny, he took a fastball right to the face. He didn't even go down at all. He lost like 2 or 3 teeth. And he spat out a big wad of blood. I'm like, whoa.
That's something that I would do.
But the count's still full. And King is back out and right, so that's a good sign.
Taking a deep breath out there.
He's one of those guys, though. He's kind of like Kevin Pillar. He's a bit of a savage in the outfield. He goes for those dives, runs into the walls. We've seen him do it. But here's the payoff pitch, and it's a grounder. Bave under it, fields it cleanly. Throw to Bigum in time. 5-3 ground out, and now coming up, and I would say looking for a jar of honey is Andrew Winnie.
I like that, Norm. Unfortunately, his shirt is not red, and he is wearing baseball pants. So he's going to be stepping into the box here. If I can find his stat line, he is batting a meager .212 with 7 hits through 33 as he grounds one out to Bay. Throw on to first, and another 5-3 put out. He's going to be stepping in. Travis Perry is working back after that first inning where he allowed 1 run.
Well, he's got a chance for a 1-2-3 if he can get Gelby out. Brandon Gelby, the left fielder.
First and another 5-3.
And from what we're seeing, bats right-handed.
Travis Perry is. It looks like he is batting right-handed, and he is also on the lower end of the spectrum with a 159 batting average.
Here's Perry's next pitch on the way, and that hits the outside corner for strike 1. Bats right-handed.
It looks like he is. From what it looks like with the Red Wings offense, their top of the lineup is pretty good. Here's the 0-1. Fouled off, making it an 0-2 count. But the top of their lineup is pretty good, pretty stacked. They did get 3 hits in their first 4 batters. But it kind of tails off at the end, which there's still good batters and good players, but their top of the lineup is the menacing part is the first 4.
Well, here's the 0-2 by Perry. That's fouled off, so Gelby will see another pitch in this at-bat.
Pretty stacked. They did get 3 hits in their first. He's working the count here, but it kind of tails off at the end. Keeping it in 0-2.
Yeah, sometimes though with batters, if they usually start a lot, but their batting average is near or below that Mendoza line, it's usually because either their work in with their glove is a lot better, or if they're DHing or EHing, they've got good power.
Or they're just in a massive cold streak.
Well, here's the 0-2 on the way, and that's outside, ball 1. Near or below that Mendoza line.
The Pew crew, Johnny Campus, and Travis Perry all were just eyeing that umpire to call that a strike 3. A little bit outside, though.
Even so, Perry's still ahead in the count, so nothing to panic about. Here's the 1-2. Fouled off, and it hits off the top rail near the press box. So count stays 1-2.
And Norm, you actually texted me last game. They posted it on their on the Tarp Skunks Instagram page. Johnny Campus broke a picture in the Observer press box.
Yeah, he did. As this one is hit over to short, Zaraski fields it. Throw over the first in time. 6-3 put out. 1-2-3 inning for Perry. Jamestown, though, still behind 1-0, but the game's still young, Max.
Yes, it is young. They're moving into the bottom of the second inning. But while we are, I'd like to remind you guys that support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball for the 2022 season is brought to you in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses while also promoting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it also offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhances the opportunities for job creation and retention by our businesses. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball and WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com. Back to you, Norm.
All right, as Walters had a 1-2-3 inning to start off the bottom half of the first, so he's dealing with 4 to 6. Durrell, Campus, and Hardigan, so a mix of speed on the base pads plus a powerful bat.
Yes, it is, and it goes speed, power, speed here. Will Durrell does have some nice power for him, but he doesn't think he has the juice to get it out of this pretty long ballpark. He is a lefty, and right field is whopping 342.
That's actually 20. This field alone, because at Yankee Stadium, one of the parts of the outfield is 314 feet.
Yes, it is, and I like that. A lot of people don't, though.
Well, Durrell's about to get his first at-bat of the game. He is a left-hander. This field alone, because at Yankee Stadium, one of the
stepping into the box.
The outfield's 314 feet. So Walters, he had a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. He'll look for a follow-up strong inning as his next pitch comes in. Durrell hits it right to Cersei. Are we having a deja vu moment? It's going to be an unassisted grounder to first to start the second consecutive inning for Jamestown as Johnny Campus comes up the bat. So Walters,
and if it is a little bit of deja vu, we're going to get a fly out to left field to Gelpy, and that would be probably around the 5th pitch of the at-bat.
Well, Campus is not scared to swing it. His batting average is near 300. He's also got the only home run the team has so far this year, as the next pitch is outside for a ball. And that home run Campus had, it was a 6-5 loss versus Elmira. It was a 3-run shot off the Schultz Auto Group sign.
I was taking pictures of that game. That one was fun.
Here's the 1-0 delivery. Campus fouls it off for strike one. As the next pitch is outside for a
good timing on that swing, just a little bit out in front, I guess. Probably was expecting something with a little bit more heat to it. I was taking pictures of that game. That one was fun. Nonetheless, he's probably going to be given a curveball here or something off speed.
Well, here's the 1-1, and that's outside in the dirt 2-1. So, in spite of Campus not being afraid to swing, he does also exhibit decent plate discipline.
Nonetheless, definitely does. Going to be good eyes here, working the count. Here's the 2-1.
Here's the 1-1. Campus hits a chopper. It goes over to third, fielded there by Jaffe, and in time, going to be a 5-3 ground out, as now it will be Yogi Hardigan, who's playing DH this evening, and 1 out away Walters is from back-to-back 1-2-3 innings, and I can see why he's their main man on the rubber for Geneva.
And we did mention at the top of the broadcast, he's got a whopping .75 ERA through all of his starts, all of his innings pitched, and that is something that, frankly, that's impressive.
That's superhuman as Hardigan swings and misses for strike one. And the year before the pitcher's mound got lowered because it used to be raised, Bob Gibson for the Cardinals had an ERA, and he was a starting pitcher, 1.12 in the MLB, and then that's when it got shifted downward as the next pitch hits the heart of the plate for strike two.
Yogi Hardigan, he's going to have to battle back here, but Walters on the other side of the coin, he can play with anything that he wants to play with.
Even a waste pitch. But here's the 0-2 on the way, and outside, ball one. I had a bit of a hunch that I was going to be hearing strike three, but it's in Hardigan's favor for that one, so he has a chance to see another pitch.
I'm sure Hardigan's heart dropped when he saw that pitch blow by.
Well, here's the 1-2, and that's low and outside to even the count, so Hardigan making Walters work, and a positive start would be for Jamestown just to get a base hit. They've been hitless so far. Walters has retired the first 5 he's seen.
Hardigan's heart dropped when
Here's the
when he
2-2.
saw that pitch go by.
And it's going to be a chopper, and chasing it down is Ortiz. Here's the throw, and he's out! What a play by Ortiz to get it over to Cersei, and it was by half a step, not by much. That concludes 2 innings. Jamestown behind 1-0, but we'll be back for more action right here on WRFA. Here's the throw, and he's out! What a play by Ortiz to get it over to Cersei, and it was by half a step, not by much. That concludes 2 innings. Jamestown behind 1-0, but we'll be back for more action right here on WRFA. Here's the throw, and he's out. What a play by Ortiz to get it over to Cersei, and it was by half a step, not by much. That concludes 2 innings. Jamestown behind 1-0, but we'll be back for more action right here.
Have been here so far, Thanks for doing a great job. PJ Wendell, your official Batman. There is a local ALS Association Tarp Skunks New York chapter that provides direct assistance to local
Maybe the question, what to eat before a game?
Fans, we invite you to follow the Jamestown Tarp Skunks online and on social media all season long. Visit us on the internet at tarpskunks.com. Find us on Facebook.
And we're about to start the top of the 3rd inning here between Jamestown and Geneva. Red Wings are ahead 1-0 over Jamestown as Perry will see Mcdermott, the 10-hitter, and then Dukes and Castellana. And during the break, the bat boy today, honorary bat boy, Councilman PJ Wendell. To start the top of the 3rd inning here between Jamestown
Always
and
love seeing
Geneva.
honorary
Red
bat
Wings are ahead
boys,
1-0 over
ceremonious
Jamestown as
first
Perry
pitches,
will see
ball boys
McDermott,
out
10-hitter,
and left and right
Dukes and
field.
Castellana. And
Always happy
during
to
the
see
break,
him.
the bat Yep, he's also Southwestern alum, and he's a big part of the wrestling teams there, respectively.
Always love seeing
As again, it's going to be Andrew McDermott, the center fielder, getting his first at-bat of the evening.
Left and right field.
Perry looking to get
Always
another
happy to
shutout inning, and so far he's looked his usual self, with the exception of a little bit of trouble in the first. It's just there's been no offensive support for Jamestown. As again, it's going to be Andrew
McDermott starting off the at-bat is going to take the first pitch for strike one, but he is stuck at a low 171 batting average at the first half of this season.
Well, here's the 0-1 on the way by Perry. Swing and a miss, strike two. Didn't even draw over some bait.
That ball just dropped out of reach. I think he was probably hoping that his bat would transform into a tennis racket there.
Well, here's the 0-2, and this is going to be a grounder to first. Bigham feels it cleanly, and he'll just tag the bag himself. And smart thinking there by Bigham, because if he would not have slid for that, that would have dribbled fair.
That was a very flashy play by a first baseman. And as I said earlier, I'm a first baseman. That is something that I can respect.
And smart thinking there by Bigham, because so we're back to the top of the lineup with Shane Dukes. He's hit a single in his first at-bat, and he's also scored the only run of the game so far as he swings in the first pitch, goes right. Oh, it hits off Zarowski's elbow. And I'm not sure what they will rule that, but from the way it was looking, that could go either way, but they're going to call it a single.
Yeah, that ball had a wacky bounce near the end. I think it caught the lip between the infield dirt and the infield grass. A little bit weird, and Zarowski thought it was going to bounce more, and it just didn't, and just got right by him.
They're going to call it a single. So fourth hit of the game for Geneva. Dukes is second on his own, as it will be Castellana. He struck out looking in his first at-bat as Perry takes the sign from campus, and here's his next pitch. Right at the heart of the plate, strike one, and I've seen this with some batters over the season, as their feet, the back foot gets close to that white line. I do know if you're caught with your foot outside of that box and the opposing coach notifies the umpire, the batter's out, as the next pitch is way outside for a ball. I've seen this
And
in
you
some
are right,
matches
Norm,
over the
but,
season,
you know, it's kind of like one of those things where if you see an opposing pitcher is cheating, like putting stuff on the ball,
Pine Tar,
you don't really, you know, tell anyone because, you know, your own players do it too.
Well, here's the 1-1, and that is outside. Ball 2. Count goes 2-1.
And not saying that Travis Perry does, or Patrick DeMarco, or even you know, Eric Krause did when he was playing here. But you know, it's just one of those things where just in case you don't want to know if your pitcher's doing it, just don't care. As a pickoff move to first is not in time, and Dukes is back safe.
We haven't seen more of pitchers getting caught with that, and now every half inning, when they're done, the pitchers have to do equipment checks with the umpire every inning. As the 2-1 pitch by Perry's on the way, and here's a throw as a called strike, and back in safely is Dukes. Counts even at 2s.
Talk about making it slow pace of play, Norm. Not too happy with the mid-inning checks, but
if it was every other inning, I understand that, but every single inning, that's micromanaging.
Just a little bit.
But Castellano looking to avoid striking out for the second time.
Maybe like flip a coin to see if you have to. I don't know. Pace of play,
I'd say every other inning.
Not too happy with the mid-inning checks. But
well, here's Perry's next pitch, 2-2 count, and this is hit to short 6. 4, 3, double play. So the 6-4-3 style gets Perry out of the third inning. Score still 1-0. And Max, I'm going to let you do your special.
Hey, thank you very much, Norm. I'd like to remind you guys, as there is an air horn back in action, support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks is brought to you in part by Reg Lene Center for the Arts. Reg Lene Center for the Arts, located in the heart of downtown Jamestown at 116 East 3rd Street, is the broadcast license holder of WRFA LP. More than just a theater, the Reg offers comprehensive programming that inspires, educates, and empowers the community. The Reg Lene also offers rental of its facilities to the public, providing spaces for small groups or hundreds of attendees. Rental arrangements can be made for parties, receptions, meetings, retreats, and live concerts and performances. The popular Movies at the Reg series is also available twice a week, offering a safe and comfortable environment for patrons to watch a wide variety of films, with food and beverages also available. For more information, visit reglene.com or call 716-664-2465.
All right, so Walters, he's off to a very strong start. Back-to-back 1, 2, 3 innings as he'll deal with 7 through 9. Henry Martinez, Pat Bigham, and Jordan King. So honestly, I would not be surprised because Martinez is known to do this, and he's had some success with it. A surprise infield bunt single.
And yes, an infield bunt single is Martinez's specialty. We'll have to see where who's their third baseman, Jaffe, is playing. If he's playing a little bit far back, he's probably going to be laying it down. There is a right-handed in the form of Walters on the mound. So, you know, you never know what goes on in Basil and Henry Martinez's head. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does drop one down.
And again, he's one of the 4 Skunks players with double digits in steals. He's got 10 flat. And again, got to meet his parents again. Got to talk to them for a few minutes prior to game time. And also, again, finding out that his grandfather has been enjoying the games as playing close near the grass is Jaffe. So I'm sure Geneva did their homework watching some film on Jamestown.
Yeah, and it looks like that's not going to work out for Martinez. And he tries it, but he pulls it back, and Jaffe read right through that. So it's going to be ball 1 as that pitch was outside, but I'm not sure if Martinez is going to try that again. Yeah, and
fake bunts always work sometimes too. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Martinez swings, it goes foul near the Red Wing bullpen for a strike. Count goes even at 1.
That pitch was outside, but the Red Wing bullpen just jumped out of the bullpen, hopping the fence.
Scaled it.
Yeah, a little bit of Subway Surfers action over there, celebrating their 10th year.
Red Wing bullpen for a strike. Count goes up. Walters gets the sign. Here's the 1-1. Martinez went around. Strike 2.
Jumped out of the bullpen, hopping the fence.
I remember seeing something weird one time.
Yeah,
it was a minor league
of,
broadcast of a game. I caught this on
Subway
YouTube.
Surfers action
There was a
over
pitch.
there.
It was wild. It was wrong on the
Celebrating
grass,
their 10th
but the
year.
batter took a swing, so he got called out because there was 2 strikes because he swung, which was strange. Here's the 1-2, and that's outside. Count goes even at 2s.
Did he at least go to first on the drop third strike?
No, he did not.
Well, maybe he should have gone to first on the drop third
It
strike.
didn't even go to the catcher. What happened was it slipped out of the pitcher's hand, and it was around the mid-part area of the grass.
Well, I think that's poor umpiring.
Well, here's the 2-2, and Martinez hits it foul, goes off his elbow.
Did he at least go to first on the a swing is a judgment call in the eyes of the umpire. If it's apparent that the batter wasn't attempting to hit the ball, then it's not a swing. Well, I think that's poor umpiring. That's what the rule is, at least. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe he thought he was trying to hit the ball. It would be kind of funny. In the eyes of the umpire.
Well, counts 2-2, and as Martinez looking to get on base.
The batter wasn't attempting.
Here's the next pitch by Walters, and caught looking, strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Walters, and 7 straight retired batters to start the game for him. 7 brides for 7 brothers moment as Pat Bigum, the first baseman, comes up to bat, and he's wearing Patrick O'Shaughnessy's number of 10. Maybe to honor him, I don't know. Can't tell, but I do see that he is a righty.
He does seem to have a flashy glove over there at first base.
Oh, he had a nice play in the last inning.
He spears it on a hopper quite frequently.
Here's Walters' next pitch, and outside corner, strike 1.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier, but he has a 333 average, it looks like. 1 hit in 3 at-bats.
He did play yesterday on the road against the Anglers. Bigum hits one in the right, and it drops for a base hit. And that's what Jamestown needs, their first hit of the game, as now it will be Jordan King, the right fielder.
Go ahead and make that 2 for 4, bumping his average up to 500. Good for him.
Hits one in the right, and it drops. It's a great way to start when you're a new member of a team.
Waited on that outside pitch, drove it opposite field to right, put it where no one can catch it. Very good move.
Yeah, and Bigum, he is a local guy playing ball for the Fredonia State Blue Devils. Walters having to check first for the first time this game. Here's the next pitch. And that was right down the pipe for strike 1. No Drano required.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see Jordan King's back is all messy from when he slid into the warning track towards the right side of the field. Good to see he's back on his feet and doing fine.
Next pitch on the way, King fouls it, and it's going to go near the 10th area of the concourse for strike 2.
Is all messy from when he slid. Falling behind Jordan King is the right side of the field. Good to see he's back on his feet.
King, I would say, taking a moment to collect his thoughts as crowding the plate a little bit. Again, that's the case of throw me in, I dare you.
Walter steps off, trying to figure out what he wants to do. I would vote for an off-speed pitch in the dirt.
Well, here's the 0-2, and that one was in the dirt, but it's not hacked at by King. Count goes 1-2. Throw me in, I dare you.
And after an off-speed pitch in the dirt, I'd look for a fastball up and in, trying to work the zone. Pitch sequencing is a must, as there's a pickoff move first. Just trying to keep an eye on Bigum on base. First time he's had to worry about a runner all day.
Yes,
and
it is.
After an off-speed pitch in the dirt, I'd look for a
so far, 1 hit in this inning for Jamestown, and they're looking for some sparks. Here's the next pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. 2 strikeouts in the last 3 batters faced for Walters. Now it'll be Julian Thompson, who is the extra hitter this evening, although he's mainly used at short.
And Julian Thompson, we mentioned in prior broadcasts, he mainly is used for his glovemanship, but he is building his batting average back up, and it's now at a 255, so a lot better than what we saw in the start of the season.
Although he's mainly used at short.
And Julian
Walters
Thompson,
gets the sign from Castellana. 2 outs. Here's the pitch. Thompson fouls it off into the concourse for strike 1.
He is.
And when looking at that ball, I did catch a glimpse of what the next in-between inning game will be, and it's another famous one, the dice roll. So Thompson taking a little cut of the shillelagh as Walters gets the sign, and here's the 0-1. That's low. Bigum's taken off, but that was the case of the delayed steal. That's something O'Shaughnessy did well at this year. It's another famous one.
That is brilliant. Love to see it.
So Thompson taking a little cut. I would presume that's his first steal of the season. Walters gets the sign.
And in fact, it is not. That is his second steal of the season.
That's why I didn't say that I knew that it was none. But counts 1-1.
That is brilliant.
Pitch was a ball. Here comes the next delivery by Walters. It's fouled off, and again, we're seeing a lot of those foul balls going to the concourse. Counts 1 and 2.
Hopefully they don't run out of baseballs, Norm.
I'm sure they can come up with some big buckets. Counts 1-1. But looking at the stat line, Thompson, he does have 10 RBIs on the season, so he'll be looking for number 11. He can get it deep enough into the outfield, or if Bigham can get a good jump, we could possibly see a tie if Thompson can get a hit. Here's the 1-2. Caught looking, strike 3. So 3 strikeouts in the inning for Walters, 2 of them by the backward K. Score still 1-0 as we're hearing some of the booing, but Max, I'm going to shift it over to you. If Thompson can get a hit.
No, we're not.
Here's the 1-2. All right, beg your pardon. We're going to be back for the 4th inning and more right here on WRFA. Strikeouts in the inning for Walters, 2 of them by the backward K. Score still 1-0 as we're hearing some of the booing, but Max, I'm going to shift over to you.
No, we're not.
All right, beg your pardon. We're going to be back for the 4th inning and more right here on WRFA. Strikeouts in the inning for Walters, 2 of them by the backward K. Score still 1-0.
You guys gonna roll that one? You two are gonna roll this one first. Roll over the railing. Right here.
All right, beg your pardon. We're going to be back for the 4th inning right here on WRFA.
There you go. Let her in. You got a 3. Okay, you guys got that one. Let's let you guys in over there. Right here. Yep. So we're going odds for the t-shirt, even for the tickets. So we got a 7. So all right, there you go. So you guys come on, follow me. We got some t-shirts for you. Thanks for playing tonight. Enjoy the rest of the game and get stinky.
And we're about to start the top of the 4th inning here between Jamestown and Geneva. Jamestown did get a base hit as Pat Bigham hit a single, but Walters responded by striking out 3 batters in the inning.
And Bigham, he actually stole second base. It was his second steal of the season, but always fun to see a first baseman stealing a base as Campus makes the throw down. Skips in, goes by Zarowski, but no harm, no foul. It wasn't an actual throw down to second, so as long as that doesn't happen during the inning, we'll be happy. It was his second steal of the season.
So Nick Searcy, the first baseman of the bat, he singled and was stranded at 3rd in his last appearance.
A lot of players have been stranded on base in this game. 2 in the first inning and 1 in the last inning. We'll be happy.
Next pitch by Perry Searcy hits it in the right, a base hit. Second hit of the ball game for him, the 5th as a team, as now it'll be Mike Gorham, the right fielder, who also got a single in his first at bat.
That ball was roped. If you play MLB The Show, that one was definitely a perfect line drive. I know a lot of players on the Tarp Skunks like playing MLB The Show, and unfortunately, a lot of them like playing Fortnite.
Never cared for Fortnite.
Neither have I, Norm.
Here's the next pitch by Perry, and that was way inside. Almost got the sleeve of Gorham for ball 1.
Maybe a little bit upset about that line drive base hit by Searcy, but as long as he reins it back in, we'll be fine.
So far in all but the second inning, they've gotten at least 1 base hit. As the next pitch by Perry's on the way, and right, no, called ball 2. It looked like, from my view, it hit enough of the strike zone, but the call's a call.
Not too many people over on my left-hand side, and also your left-hand side, also known as the Tarp Skunks section, are not too happy with that ball call.
2-0 pitch, and same exact location, called for a strike, 2-1.
That pitch might have been a little bit worse than the last pitch, but probably owed Travis Perry a strike in that situation. Your left-hand side, also known as
2-1 count, nobody out. Searcy at first. Here's the next pitch. That's outside ball 3. Location called for a strike, 2-1.
That pitch might have been a little Durham being one of the power hitters on this lineup, probably being worked away from as Perry does not want to give him something he can groove.
Well, it's a hitter's count. Here's the 3-1 and inside corner called full count. The way he was looking for a moment, I thought that was going to be a free pass just from the way Gorham was starting to head over to a base.
I think he thought it was going to be ball 4, and to be frank, I thought it was ball 4.
Even so, it's a full count, and Cersei, from what we've seen, not really known for base speed, so I wouldn't worry too much about him trying to steal. The way Gorham was starting to head over to a base.
I think he thought it was going to be. He has no stolen bases on the season so far, Norm.
Here's the payoff. Outside ball 4. So that is going to be the first walk issued by either pitcher, as now it will be Jordan Jaffe, the third baseman.
Jordan Jaffe in his last at-bat, he popped up into an infield fly rule with the bases loaded.
Outside ball 4. So that is going to. He'll look for a better result here.
Definitely will be, Norm. Definitely will be.
Jordan Jaffe, the third baseman. Cersei at second, Gorham at first. He got the precious walk. Here's the next pitch by Perry, and that's going to drop into right for a base hit. Third base kid. The third base coach instructing to go station to station as the nice throw there by King got it all the way over to campus. He's got a cannon.
Nice throw, a little bit offline up the third base line, but he wasn't going, so there wasn't really much of a worry. As a general rule of thumb, you always want every ball to be able to be cut off, but when there isn't going to be any play because the bases will be loaded, you don't really have to worry about it.
But right now it's going to be a conference on the mound, a meeting of the minds between infield coach, pitching coach Barry Powell and Travis Perry. And again, with Barry Powell out there, that interview again between you and him, that is on the website, WRFALP.com, for any watchers of the YouTube broadcast right now. Didn't get an opportunity to listen in again. It's on the website, WRFALP.com, so you won't miss out. As the conference is about to come to a conclusion, as it's going to be Ortiz due up next. Bases are loaded, none out. 7 hits already for Geneva in the first 3 innings and change. And a base hit could possibly give Geneva a 3-0 lead.
And I talked to Powell before today's game as well. Just wanted to let him know that we were running the interview today, and he wanted to text his wife and tell him to tune in. So I hope she did.
Well, Ortiz will look to drive home at least Cersei.
And I talked to Powell before today's game as well. Just
Perry in a big jam here, even worse than what it was in the first inning, because this time there's nobody out and the bases loaded. Here's the pitch. That is high, ball 1. Well, Ortiz got caught looking in his first at-bat. One of the 2 strikeouts that Perry has, and they were both in the first.
That strikeout ended the inning. He got Perry out of that jam in the first inning.
1-0 pitch on the way by Perry, and hits the outside corner for strike 1. He's got caught looking in his first at-bat. One of the 2 strikeouts.
If you're looking at this from Ortiz's perspective, all you got to do is put the ball in play. Anything, as long as it's not a pop-up or a strikeout, will at least drive in 1 run. You do have the corners in, so they're going to be trying to cut down the plate. But you never know, as that pitch is just a tad outside for ball 2.
Perry can't afford a walk. That will force in a run.
And that will give Ortiz another RBI on the season.
It's a 2-1 count, nobody out.
Cut down the plate. But
Perry gets the sign.
Pitch is just a tad.
Here's the next pitch. And Ortiz hits it. That's a fair ball going into left. Cersei's going to score. Gorham's going to score. Ortiz extending into a double. And clearing the bases with that double is going to be Ray Ortiz. A bases clearing, 3 RBI double. And just like that, Geneva up 4-0. And already also with 8 hits in this game. And it's their 3rd one in this inning, the 2nd time they've had 3 in 1.
And Ortiz just put that right down the line. No better place to put a line drive other than down the third base line.
And just like that,
That was just a really good hit. Really good contact. Cody Bay couldn't quite get a glove on it, and that was his 8th RBI on the season. So good for him. Right down the line, no better.
Bases clearing, 3 RBI double for Ortiz, nobody out. Here's the next pitch by Perry, and this one is going to be hit by Hitman, and Zarowski can't get to it. It's going to be a base hit. And now runners are at the corners with nobody out, and it's going to be Andrew Winnie, the extra hitter.
And unfortunately for Perry, Zarowski was holding on the runner as Hitman apparently is more of a pull hitter, so Zarowski was given the task of holding on the runner at second. But Hitman just played right into the shift and hit it opposite field where Zarowski would have been if Ortiz was on any other base.
And it looks like there's going to be some possible action going on in the Skunk bullpen. There is somebody going in there right now. Looks like it's number 8.
But Hitman just played right into the shift.
Runners on the corners, no outs. Next pitch by Perry, right at the outside corner, strike 1.
And our executive producer confirms it. It is number 8, who is...
Okay, well, it hasn't been updated as of yet, but that's also what point streak is for as well. Runner goes. Here's the throw by Campus, and easy stolen base there for Max Hitman. Max, you've got the stat sheet. I wonder how many that is for him on the season.
You said Hitman. That is his 4th stolen base on the season, it looks like.
So that does eliminate the possibility of a double play. Stolen base there for Max Hitman. And a chance for Winnie to clear the bases again. Nobody out, 1-1 count. Even a long fly ball can drive home Ortiz. Here's the pitch. And this is going to drop into left center for another base hit. And that's going to clear the bases. Throw's going to get cut off by Zarowski, and 2 more runs score. A 2 RBI single for Winnie. He finds the pot of honey and does not get stuck in the hole. 6-0 now the score, as now it will be Brandon Gelpy. And that's going to clear the bases.
With runners in scoring position, it doesn't matter if it's a blast or just a lazy fly ball into the gap. Those work, and that may only look like a single and 2 RBI on the score sheet, but that is a well-executed pitch, well-executed swing, too, as a pickoff attempt to first, just sort of keeping an eye on him, but he's back in time. May only look like a single and 2 RBI on the score sheet.
So nobody out. That is the 5th hit of the game, as this one is popped up, and we got a 2-man chase for it. King makes the catch, so finally the first out of the 4th inning, as King is able to chase it down. And now it'll be Andrew McDermott, the center fielder.
King ranged in a long way to catch that ball, and waving off both Tucker and Brigham.
King is able to chase it down. Yeah, so it is number 8 in the bullpen, but again, that's not Corey Shields. He just switched his number recently to 39.
King ranged in a
as
long way
McDermott will look to keep the inning going. A double play can end it, as pickoff and back in safely is Winnie.
That pickoff attempt was one of the closest attempts we've seen all day.
His number recently to 39. So as McDermott 1 out, runner on first. A double play can end it, as pickoff and back in. And next pitch is called a strike as it hits the heart of the plate.
That pickoff attempt was one of the closest. That has been his 63rd pitch of the game so far, by my count.
So 1 out, runner on first. So count 0-1. Next pitch is fouled off and almost went into our part of the press box. We are okay, so there's no goose eggs, no dents on the forehead, so count is 0-2.
I should have tried to catch that, Norm. But,
you don't want to fall through.
No, I could have caught that.
Are you absolutely certain?
I mean, I think so. It's the only chance I'll ever get.
No dents on the forehead, so counts 0-2.
I should have tried to catch that.
We've had a few close calls over the years, but none of them have ever gone in this part of the box. Here's the 0-2, and it hits him.
I mean,
looked like it got him on the helmet. Now 2 runners are on. one out,
only chance
and we're
I'll
going to
ever
go
get.
back to the top of the lineup with Shane Dukes, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
We've had a few close calls over the years, but
And if Dukes and Castellana bat, we will go through the entire lineup in this inning. A rare feat.
Well, we've seen it quite a bit for it being a rare feat. With Shane Dukes, who is
Yeah,
2
you're
for
right.
2 with a pair of singles. We've had a few close calls over the years, but
And if Dukes and
So, Dukes
Castellana
looking to go
bat,
3 for
we
3
will
on
go
the
through
evening.
entire lineup in this inning. A rare feat. Both of his hits are singles, as the first pitch is swung on a miss for strike one. Yeah, you're right. Dukes did, in fact, score the first run of the game on a pass ball.
Yes,
Both
he
of his
did.
hits are singles, as the first pitch is swung on a miss for strike one.
Next pitch is swung on and missed for strike 2.
Dukes
Perry
did,
looking to at least
in
get the
fact,
second out, but also for first to
score the
third,
first run
it
of
is
the
a
game.
force at any base.
On a pass ball. And a double play is always in the cards.
Yes, it is.
Swung on a miss for strike
Perry
two.
taking a check at second. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is what Perry needed, so it is guaranteed. We'll go through the whole lineup as it'll be Castellana, the catcher. He grounded 4-6 or 6-4-3 to a double play in his last at bat.
He's definitely going to be trying to do something a little bit better this time around. Grounding into a double play, especially in the situation that they had following that first inning, was never something you really want to do.
Well, I just found this out. Looks like it is Corey
He's
Shields
definitely
who
going to be
is
trying to do
in
something
the
a little
bullpen
bit
number
better
8.
this time around.
Next
Grounding
pitch
into
on the
a
way is
double
fouled
play,
off by
especially
Castellana
in the
for a
situation that they
strike.
had following that first. These Red Wings really don't like the press box.
Well, I just
That
found
is,
this out. Looks like
by my count,
it is Corey Shields
the
who is
7th foul
in
ball
the
that hit the
bullpen
press
number
box
8.
by the Red Wings alone.
Next pitch on the way is fouled off by 0-1 count, 2 outs. And Perry does get the
These
sign
Red
from
Wings
campus.
really
Here
don't
comes
like
the next
press
pitch.
box. That
This
is,
one is going
by
into
my
right,
count,
and it's going to
the
drop
7th
foul.
foul ball that hit
Very
the press box
fortunate,
by
because
the Red Wings
otherwise,
alone.
at least one run would have scored. 0-1 count, 2 outs.
Jordan King didn't really seem to get a good jump off of that ball.
From campus. Here
Wouldn't have
comes
mattered
the
much
next pitch.
anyways. That was definitely not going to get caught, even if he had the best jump. That was a little bit out of his range.
Very fortunate, because
But
otherwise,
very fortunate for
at
the
least
Tarp
one
Skunks,
run
as
would
you
have
said,
scored.
that landed just a tad foul.
Well, it turns out what happened was there was a game last game.
Wouldn't have
Shields
mattered
was
much
39, but it
anyways.
turns
That
out it was because he
definitely
brought the
not
wrong
going to get
jersey
caught,
to the
even if he
ballpark.
had the best jump. You hate it when that happens, Norm.
Right, because I also informed the
very
Geneva
fortunate
broadcaster
for
that
the
he was number
Tarp Skunks, as you
39
said,
now, but
that
just
landed
finding out now
just
that
a
he's number
tad
8
foul.
again.
It
But again, sometimes that's something that does happen, unfortunately. Next pitch, and that hits him. Second hit by pitch in the
You hate it when that
in the
happens.
last 3 at bats for that's faced for Perry. So now it's going to be Cersei coming back up. He had a single and scored a run, and that was back in the top to start it. Next pitch, and that hits him.
And it looks like the umpire may or may not have given Travis Perry a tad bit of a warning as to not hit another player.
So now it's going to be Cersei coming back up. And bases are jammed up again. Castellana at first, and also Winnie at third, and Mcdermott at second.
And it looks like the umpire
And I haven't really seen
may
any
or may
warnings
not
all
have
year
given
regarding
Travis Perry
the
a tad bit of a warning
beating
as
the
to
batter.
not hit another player.
We have seen ejections, though, but not a warning. But it looks like he's going to be subbed out, and the pinch runner is going to be number 11, and that is Charlie Furlong. He's from Washington, D.C. He is a 5'9" southpaw hitter, right-handed thrower, junior from Colby College. So that's going to be it for Castellana. He is hurt. It looks like he's going to be subbed out. Again, it's going to be Charlie Furlong pinch running, and the other 2 catchers in the lineup, Dukes is at DH, and Winnie is also a catcher, but he's the extra hitter tonight. That's going to be it for so unless Furlong does have experience playing catcher, it says here he's an infielder on the roster. Charlie Furlong pinch running, and
I don't envy managers' positions as to who to put where when an injury occurs. Unfortunately, injuries are part of a game, but they're a part of every game. So improvise, adapt, overcome, Norm.
Indeed. Next pitch is inside for a ball, and with you saying that, That's also the motto of Clint Eastwood in his movie Heartbreak Ridge, as Nathan Smith's coming into the bullpen as well.
Unfortunately, that pitch did look a tad inside, so I don't know. If he did get a warning, he might get another one here.
Well, usually if there's a warning, then it's an ejection, and I don't know if as the next pitch was in the dirt. I'm not sure, though, in PGCBL where if a pitcher were to get ejected for a beaning, the manager would be too, because I know in the MLB, if the pitcher gets ejected for hitting at a batter, the manager does too.
He might get another one here. Maybe, Norm. Maybe. I don't know.
I'm not too sure either.
Kind of funny.
I don't know as the next pitch was in the dirt. I'm not sure, though. Perry looking to just get out of this inning. It has been a long and winding one. Here's the next pitch. And that one's low and inside, ball 3. And if he walks Cersei, we're going to see our 6th run in the top of the 4th for Geneva.
And we will see yet another Cersei RBI. He has yet to get one today, but he does lead the Red Wings in home runs, so he does have quite a few.
Here's the 3-0, and that is inside corner, strike 1. And the way it was looking, I thought the home plate umpire was going to be saying ball 4 because just from his motion, I thought he was going to say take your base.
I think he wanted to call that a ball, but Red Wings, against his better judgment, he decided to call that a strike to kind of, I don't know, ease it in as Perry steps off.
So it is Shields and Smith in the bullpens again. Shields turns out he's not number 39. It was just a one-game thing with that due to forgetting his jersey, bringing the wrong one. So he is back to his normal number 8. Next pitch is low for ball 4, and that's going to drive in a run. That's going to be Cersei's first RBI of the game. And now we're going to see Mike Gorham, who walked and also scored a run. So he is back to his normal number 8. Next pitch
This is beginning to be a long inning, as it looks like a pitcher is making his way back from the bullpen. Going to give Bazil the thumbs up to say that he's ready to go into the game.
Here's the next pitch by Perry, inside corner, strike 1. And the one walking in the dirt right now, that is Nathan Smith. We have seen him quite a bit in relief appearances. And again, there was also Corey Shields warming up.
Going to give Bazil the thumbs up to say that he's ready to go.
0-1 count, 2 outs. Perry gets the sign. Looking to at least keep the ice cream from melting as the next pitch is swung on and missed by Gorham for strike 2. So Gorham, I know he's looking for that precious. The 2-run RBI single, I would assume. But again, when there was bases loaded earlier in the inning, Ray Ortiz hit a bases clearing double. That accounted for half of the runs in this inning. Perry gets the sign. Here's the 0-2. And it's going to be a grounder on the check swing. Fair. Perry fields it. Underhands at the big one in time. And the inning has come to an end on the top half. But 6-run score for Geneva. And it was on 5 hits. A 3 RBI double by Ortiz. A 2 RBI single by Winnie. Score now 7-0. And Max, I'm going to let you do your thing.
Hey, thank you, Norm. I'd like to remind you that support for Jamestown Tarp Skunks on WRFA Radio is brought to you in part by businesses and listeners like you. WRFA is a non-commercial, non-profit community radio station that relies on contributions and donations from the listening communities to keep our programs on the air. If you appreciate and enjoy this broadcast or any other program available on WRFA, consider making a donation of any amount by clicking donate at our website, WRFALP.com. It's fast and easy. Checks of any amount can also be made out to WRFA Radio and mailed to the radio station at 116 East 3rd Street, Jamestown, New York, 14701. Local businesses are also encouraged to sponsor programming on WRFA. To learn more about becoming an underwriter for broadcast of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks, call 716-664-2465. Extension 209, or email WRFA@regionate.com. Anyways, Norm, after that long inning, how are you feeling? A little tired, maybe?
No, I'm not tired, but what's sad is this has been very frequent this year at home. Jamestown falling behind by a large amount of runs at Dietrich, and one of the games was actually a shutout, the only one they've ever suffered at home, and it was the same score as it is right now, 7-0, but that was against Batavia.
That was against Batavia, and I was there for that game, and I was not exactly happy on the ride home. In fact, that's when I hurt my car. Hurt my car, ran into a curb. Pretty sad stuff. It's still in the shop today.
Wow. Yeah, I know my car needs a new timing belt, so I get you. But the mechanic bills are not cheap, as it's Zarowski, Tucker, and Bay, the top three due up. Here's Walters' next pitch, and that's inside for a ball, so Zarowski not swinging at the first pitch. He let that one go, and I would presume that the fourth inning maybe carries last after the 6-run debacle, as the next pitch by Walters is right at the pipe for strike one.
I wouldn't call that a debacle. I would call that an onslaught, and it will continue into the 5th inning unless the Tarp Skunks bullpen can shut them out.
Here's the 1-1 by Walters, and in the dirt, 2-1. Looks like Zarowski was going to check that for a moment, but was able to hold up. 2-1 count. Jamestown, they've only been held to 1 hit in this game so far, and it was by Pat Bigham. Everybody else is a Brooklyn Bagel Factory, the assembly line of making the zeros. 2-1 pitch is outside corner, evens the count at 2s.
And with a 2-2 count, if you're Walters on the mound, you really just got to make a pitch that will attack the zone, whether it's in the zone or just outside of the zone.
Here's the 2-2 by Walters. Zarowski hits a chopper, and it's fielded at third. Here's the throw, and save! Zarowski with the infield single. Jaffe was able to field it cleanly, but Zarowski's speed was too much. As now it's going to be Mark Tucker, the second baseman, and just the second hit of the game for the Skunk Bats.
And the second time through the lineup, second hit of the game for Zarowski. A nice little swinging bunt down the third base line. Jaffe couldn't quite get to the ball and throw it to first in time, so Zarowski is going to be standing out there on first base with quite a hefty lead.
That's a suicide lead as Tucker hits a chopper, goes right to Walters, and he'll just settle for the out. He's not even going to flip it to Cersei, he'll just tag it himself, so a ground out to the pitcher, as now it will be Cody Bay with Zarowski in scoring position.
Quite a hefty lead. I never really get to write down one view too often on my scorebook, but you know what? I'll take it.
Oh, sometimes if it's just one person, like a grounder, there's times I'll put the U, sometimes I'll just put G3. Ground out to first. But I'm sure it's all the same, just different ways of writing it. But Cody Bay looking to get on base and then drives Zarowski home. Here's the pitch. And he clearly went around in the check swing. Doesn't even need an opinion from the bases umpires. He was over past the top part of home plate for strike one.
Yeah, Cody Bay thought he had that pitch dead to rights, but Walters pulled the string on him, and the pitch ended up in the dirt.
He clearly went around in the check swing. All I know is Pinocchio had no strings to hold him down. He was over as Walters gets the sign. Zarowski with a good lead off a second. Here's the 0-1. Bay hits it over third and fielded by Jaffe. Two-step, and he'll just wisely hold on to it. Back-to-back infield singles in the last 3 at-bats for Jamestown, as now it'll be Will Durrell, the left fielder.
That was a nice diving stop by Jaffe. Keeping the ball in the infield, keeping Zarowski at second base. So good on him for a spectacular play. Just couldn't get the throw off in time, and wisely didn't even go for the throw at first. That was a nice diving stop by Jaffe.
So Durrell, he routed the first in his first at-bat, so he'll look for a base hit to drive home Zarowski.
A spectacular play, just couldn't get the throw off in time, and
so Walters gets the sign, comes set at the belt. Here's the pitch. That one's right at the heart of the plate. Strike one.
Sorry about that, Norm.
You're all right.
Getting a little stuffy in here. Had to take the polo off. Now I'm just repping my Buffalo Bills T-shirt.
I've got a lot of those. I've also got 3 or 4 jerseys.
I've got a Josh Allen jersey, Stephon Diggs jersey.
I want to get one of those as well, but I've got a college card of Josh Allen as Durrell swings and misses for strike 2.
Had to take the polo off. Now I've got a CJ Spiller rookie card in mint condition.
He had potential, but he ran backwards too much when he took handoffs.
Yeah, just a little bit. That was his main
That's a
problem.
lot. That was a lot. That's why Fred Jackson overtook him. Fast Freddy.
I also have a Fred Jackson jersey.
Here's the throw to second,
I've got
and save is Zarowski. Count 0-2.
That throw was a little bit wayward, but
He had potential. He ran backwards too much when he took handoffs. Didn't go into Wanderlust.
yeah, it was caught by Hitman, so no worries there.
So no contracted out for him.
Also have a Fred Jackson jersey.
0-2 count, 1 out. Walters taking a look. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3.
That throw was a little
So
bit
that's going to be the
wayward,
4th
but,
strikeout of the game for Walters. And with 2 outs, it's going to be Johnny Campus. And with the wind going on the opposite end and the flags going north from my vision, this could possibly be a 3-run dinger if he can get enough wood on it.
And that's the problem. You just got to get enough wood on it. And
And with 2 outs,
I see a nice peanut gallery on the left side of the press box. I think everyone is here to watch the game, and everyone is having some fun.
Here's the next pitch by Walters, and that's in the dirt, ball 1.
And good take by Johnny Campus to start off the at-bat. Always good if you are a hitter to go up 1-0.
So bottom of the 4th, 2 outs. Zarowski at second, Bay on first. They both had infield singles in this inning. Here's the 1-0. Campus pops it up, but it's going to go out of play.
Well executed. Swing.
It hits off the top of the press box, and it'll probably skip to its loo to the concourse for strike 1.
And unfortunately for Johnny Campus, I don't believe he will get a better pitch to hit in this at-bat. It was a fastball straight down the middle, just got a little bit under it and fouled it straight back.
And we got a 2-man chase for it. King makes the catch, so count 1-1, 2 outs. First out of the 4th inning. As 1 + 1 = 2, said my first grade teacher, as the next pitch is on the way. Campus fouls this off, and it's going to be a case of the Clark Kent flying over the lights in a single bound.
Speaking of a little bit of math, I mean, Trey Zarowski might have failed elementary math. He says 6 + 4 + 3 = 2. So a bit of scorekeeper humor for you. 6-4-3 double play. Always been my favorite joke.
As McDermott, I've heard a lot of jokes, but that's a first for me. Zarowski's taken off and it hits off of Campus's arm pad from what I see. Oh no, the home plate umpire is indicating that Campus swung and missed for strike 3.
No, he's saying that it hit Campus's arm in the zone.
If it hit his arm in the zone, but it hit his arm beforehand, that's a hit by pitch. How is that out number 3? How is that strike 3 if it hits him in the arm in the strike zone?
Because his arm is in the strike zone, Norm. You can't put your arm in the strike zone.
Wow. I've never heard of anything like that before, but that's a loony way to end 4 innings here of Skunks baseball. We'll be back, though, for the 5th and beyond on WRFA. No dents on the forehead, so count is 0-2.
I should have tried to catch that, Norm. Into a pitch. I could have caught that. I mean, I think so. I mean, if your arm is in your arm, the only chance I'll ever get. And it hits your arm, then
so counts 0-2. Right. So I'm assuming there's a little strike. I've done close calls over the years, but none of them have ever gone in this part of the box. Oh, so here's the 0-2, and it hits him. Looks like it got him on the helmet. Now 2 runners are on, 1 out, and we're going to go back to the top of the lineup with Shane Dukes, who is 2 for 2 with a pair of singles.
And if Dukes and Castellana bat, we will go through the entire lineup in this inning. Rare feat.
Well, we've seen it quite a bit for it being a rare feat.
Yeah, you're right. And if Dukes and
so Dukes looking to go 3 for 3 on the evening. And we're about to start the top of the 5th inning here as it's the end of the night for Travis Perry. It's going to be Corey Shields on the rubber now for Jamestown. He is a pitcher from Mercers University, but for any listeners to the broadcast just tuning in or the watchers of the YouTube stream, a very goofy way, but it is not necessarily unusual to end the bottom of the 4th. The home plate umpire indicated that Campus he leaned into the strike zone and the ball got him on the elbow guard. I do know that you can't lean in to purposefully take a hit by pitch.
And it did look like a strike to me, so I was a little bit confused as to what happened. So smart play, smart call by the umpire, but you know, Brazil was pretty upset. Campus was pretty upset. Everyone was pretty mad at the call. But anyways, as Corey Shields takes the bump, I do have his stat line here. He has played in 5 games so far, amassing 6 innings pitched, allowing 2 hits and 2 runs respectively. 6 walks and 3 strikeouts, which is a little bit behind the wanted 2-to-1 ratio. And he has had no decisions, but he does have a 3 ERA. Not bad for a relief pitcher, in my opinion.
As long as it's a 3 and under for bullpen, that's I think where pitching coaches and head coaches were the target line. But the batters that Shields will be facing will be Jaffe, Ortiz, and Hitman, and they're all 3 that Shields has to keep a sharp eye on. Jaffe, he has a single and he scored a run. That was in that 4th inning where Geneva scored 6. Ortiz cleared the bases in his last at-bat. The bases were loaded, hit a 3 RBI double. And Hitman, he had a single and he scored a run.
Jordan King pretty good on him. Ortiz probably, if the game were to end right now, he would get one of the 3 stars if they were to have it in baseball like they do in hockey. The first star would definitely go to Walters. 4 straight 0 shutout innings as the first pitch is roped down the first base line for a base hit right by Bigham. He's rounding second. King gets the ball, throws over to Tucker, who cuts it off for a leadoff double.
Second extra base hit of the game for Geneva, and their second one in the last 2 innings, as now it's going to be Ray Ortiz, who coincidentally had a double that cleared a loaded bases, as Campus is going to have a quick word with Shields. Second hit by pitch in the...
And they might be talking about probably what the indicator is with the runner on second. You never want to, tell... photograph or telegraph, I guess. I don't know. I'm tired. You never want to telegraph what the sign is, what the pitch is going to be, so got to have an indicator for the signs.
Yeah, and before the next pitch, we're at the top of the hour. Skunks fans, you're listening to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball on WRFA LP 107.9 FM right here in Jamestown, New York, as Shields' next pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1.
Way to battle back after that leadoff double, getting a first strike. Ortiz is probably taking all the way there, though.
And the pinch runner is going to be number 0-1 pitch on the way for Shields, and it's going to be chopped foul. Bay chasing it down anyway, almost running into the tarpaulin.
Maybe there's a skunk in there, Norm.
Well, so far they've been shooting the blanks. Geneva has been, what I like to say, taxidermying the Skunks or cutting the tails, cleaning them, pinning them on their wall over the fireplace, and sipping a cup of hot coffee or tea.
I like hot chocolate, Norm.
That too, or if you mix that in coffee, a cafe mocha.
Oh, those are always good. I do that at my other job way too much.
Well, Shields is ahead in the count, 0-2.
Manager's positions as to who to
Again, he is number 8. The reason why he was number 39 the last couple of games was he brought the wrong jersey into the stadium. Sometimes things like that do happen as the 0-2 pitch is on the way and low for ball 1. There was even a game where Michael Jordan actually wore the number 12 because his jersey was actually stolen by a fan. Smith's coming into the bullpen as well.
I wish that I ever made it that good that my jersey gets stolen by a fan. That would be pretty fun.
In that game against Orlando, he scored 49 points and the Bulls lost in overtime as Shields' 1-2 pitch is about to be delivered. Fouled off the netting of the grandstands. Count still 1-2.
Got to be thankful for the netting, Norm. Some people wouldn't like it, though. Maybe, Norm. Maybe. I don't know. It would be kind of funny. I think they should have like one game of the season where they take down the netting and have everyone bring gloves.
That'd be good. I think that'd be good promotion. But here's the next pitch by Shields, and caught looking strike 3 on the outside corner. That was a bit of a delayed call from what I saw, but it does go Shields' way for the first out, and now it will be Hitman, the shortstop.
And Ortiz just gave a nice little stare down at the umpire there as he's walking back to the dugout. I can't say I blame him. I would not be happy with that.
I honestly thought that pitch was a touch low, but it went the way of Jamestown, so if you're pulling for the Skunks, you'll happily take it.
It was a bit too delayed for my liking. If you're going to call it a strike, you got to call it a strike fast.
Well, Hitman, who had had a single in the 4th inning, scored a run as the next pitch by Shields hits the outside corner for strike one. So it is Shields and Smith in the bullpen.
Hitman has been tearing it up lately, both on the field and in the batter's box. 1 for 2 today.
So he is back to his normal number 8. 0-1 count, Shields' next pitch, and Hitman hits it. It stays fair. Bay fields it. Throw to first to Bigum in time. But besides that, extending his way to third is Jaffe. And now it'll be Andrew Winnie, who had a 2 RBI single in the 4th inning.
This is going to try and replicate that with a runner on third. Anything into the outfield will be good, whether it's an all-seeing ground ball in between the Cody Bay and Zarowski in third and short respectively, or, I don't know, a blooper down the line.
The one walking in the dirt right now, that is Nathan Smith.
Or a moonshot over the logistics sign there in left center.
Well, here's Shields' next pitch. 0-1 count, 2 outs. Perry gets the sign. Looking to at least keep the ice cream from melting. Winnie, the right-hander, looking to extend the inning and extend Geneva's lead to 8 runs. 7 runs on 10 hits in just 4 2/3 innings so far for Geneva. And Jamestown's bats, just like the pitch shoot though in Mr. Baseball, the hole in the swing. That accounted for half of the
Yeah, Swiss cheese, Norm. There's a hole in there, and you got to hope that it doesn't hit it.
Next pitch off speed, but it's way off, way high and outside for a 2-0 count.
With 2 down, if you're Corey Shields, you really just got to worry about attacking the hitter. You got 2 open bases, so you never really have to worry about walking him, but you know, the more runners you have on base, the more runners that can score. Here's the 2-0, and it is just a little bit outside for ball 3, 3-0.
And should Winnie get walked, Brandon Gelpy is up next.
is a non-commercial, non-profit community radio.
He was one of 4 batters in the inning not to get a hit, as the next pitch is swung on and missed for a 3-1 count.
Or any other program available on WRFA. Winnie not really staying in his game plan here, swinging at that pitch that was a little bit outside. Making it a 3-1 count though. Still in control.
Next pitch on the way, that's high, ball 4, so runners are going to be at the corners with 2 outs, and it's going to be Brandon Gelpy, who's 0 for 2.
And I'll tell you this, I'll take my chances with Gelpy over Winnie any day of the week, so they might have just been working around him. Never a good thing though, walking someone gives the offense a little bit of motivation, confidence, something that you don't really want to give them as a pitcher.
This has been very frequent this year at home. So Gelpy looking for his first hit of the game. Here's the next pitch by Shields, and outside corner, strike 1. They've ever suffered at home, and it was the same score as it is right now.
Runners on the corners with 2 down. I wouldn't be surprised seeing Winnie on the move here. Not exactly happy on the ride home. Doesn't look like he has a lot of stolen bases on the season yet. Hurt my car.
Well, here comes Shields' next pitch. And here, nope, Campus decides to hold off, and he'll give it back to Shields.
Winnie, in fact, has 1 stolen base on the year.
The mechanic bills are not cheap, as it's Zarowski, Tucker, and Bay. The top 3 due up. Here's Walters' next. So Winnie with a good lead off of the base. Also, Zarowski not swinging at the first pitch. He let that one go. Here's the next pitch by Shields, and that's outside, 2-1. Perry's last after the 6-run debacle. And it looks like there's activity also going on in the Skunks bullpen as well. The pipe for strike 1.
I wouldn't call that a debacle. I would call that an
2-1 count, 2 outs. Shields gets the sign from Campus. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Count goes even at 2s, and we've got that triple deuce again. 2-2 count, 2 outs. Or if we want to make it a quadrupler, 2 runners on base at the corners. Jaffe's at third, and Winnie is at first. Winnie wanting to keep winning just like Charlie Sheen. All he does is win.
No matter what, Norm.
2-2 on the way. And that one called inside for a full count.
And Winnie's going to be on the move here with a 3-2 count and 2 away in the inning. So a ball in the gap could bring home 2 runs, extending the lead to 9.
Shields gets the sign from Campus. Here's the full count. And that's in the dirt, ball 4. So back-to-back walks issued by Shields. Bases are loaded. And now it's going to be Andrew McDermott, who was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. The second baseman, and just the second hit of the game for the Skunks bats.
And the second time through the lineup. And I sent executive producer Jason Sample looking at the bullpen. Couldn't quite get a number. Number 23. 23.
That is Nathan Smith. We also saw him going in with Shields in the top half of the 4th inning. So we have seen him quite a bit in relief appearances. Here's Shields' next pitch, and that one's low and inside for ball 1.
The issue that I'm seeing here right now is if McDermott, Dukes, and Castellana, all 3 get on base, we're going to have to do some weird scorebook manipulation here.
1-0 pitch on the way, and it is foul. Looked like it also may have hit off of the elbow guard of McDermott. Counts even at 1s.
Bases loaded, 1-1 count. The umpire having a little chat with Shields as he's giving McDermott a few seconds to kind of make sure his elbow's okay. One of those things that good umpires do. Yeah, Cody Bay.
Count 1-1, 2 outs. Bases are jammed up. Joffy's on third, Winnie's on second, and Gelpy is on first. Winnie and Gelpy getting on by free passes. And Joffy with a double, which started off the inning. Here's the 1-1. And this one's going to get hit to right. King chasing it down and makes the catch! Makes a jumping catch for the 3rd out. And that avoids a possible bases clearing double. Shades of Jim Edmonds with that jumping catch. That concludes 4.5. Score still 7-0. And Max, I would say one of the only bright spots of the game for Jamestown.
Just a little bit, but after that diving, jumping backwards catch, you know, my old colleague used to say a blind mice catches one twice a day. He wasn't a big fan of diving catches. He thought they were all luck-based, but anyway.
Or a blind squirrel finding a nut.
Oh, yeah, but he always got it wrong intentionally. So anyways, I'd like to remind you guys that support for WRFA's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunks in 2022 is brought to you in part by Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, celebrating over 50 years of serving the community's automotive needs with an excellent customer buying and ownership experience. At Schultz Auto Group, all repair facilities have experienced and factory-trained technicians with state-of-the-art equipment for every automotive need, no matter what engine type, gas, diesel, or electric. The next generation of auto care is already at Schultz Auto Group. Schultz Auto Group, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks Community Baseball and your community radio station, WRFA-LP. For more information, call 1-866-931-2998 or visit schultzauto.com. And it's good to see Jordan King is not still hurt after that. I believe it was in the 1st inning that he got a little bit shaken up.
Yeah, and I do see that there is a new catcher behind the dish. It's not going to be Charlie Furlong, who was the pinch runner when a hit by pitch on Castellana injured himself to where he had to leave the game. It's now number 14, Cole Fleming, a 5'10 sophomore from NJIT, New Jersey Institute of Technology, and he's from Medford, New Jersey, bats and throws righty.
And Cole Fleming is on the lower side of the spectrum with the batting average with a 194. He seems to be a starter, though, with 62 at-bats and 12 hits with 3 doubles, 3 RBIs as well,
and
as we
that's
see
the problem. You just got to
Hardigan take the first pitch for a ball.
Yes, it's Hardigan, Martinez, and Bigham to start off the bottom of inning number 5.
I think everyone is here to watch the game, and everyone is.
Walters getting the sign from Fleming. Here's the next pitch. That one's low, 2-0. And that's in the dirt.
It's a little bit hot today, Norm. I spent all day outside at my other job, and then I'm here in a not air-conditioned press box.
Well, we do get the breeze every now and again as the 2-0 pitch is being thrown by Walters, and this one's hit the center and hung a little too long. It's going to be a bloop out the center, and now it's going to be Henry Martinez. It hits off the top of the press box.
Henry Martinez in his last at-bat in inning number 3 struck out looking to start the at-bat.
Pitch to hit in this at-bat. It was a fast
So he'll look for his first hit of the game.
Just got a little bit under it and fouled it straight back.
And we got a two-man chase for it. King makes the catch.
Martinez, a southpaw, looking to start a rally here for Jamestown. They've been neutralized here so far tonight. They've been held to just 3 hits and have yet to put a run on the board. Here's Walter's next pitch. It's going to be a bump down the third base side. Jaffe fields it. Here's a throw to first and caught by Cersei for the out.
A little bit of math.
So a chance for another 1-2-3 inning is Walters. Is now it's going to be Pat Bigum, the first baseman.
And we did mention in the third inning when Martinez was first up that he likes to drop one down, and we did notice that Jaffe played a little bit in. So a little bit surprised that he tried one this inning, but unfortunately for him, it didn't turn out well.
Oh no, the home plate umpires indicated.
Here comes the next pitch by Walters as the next one hits the outside corner for strike one. Again, Bigum, he's got one of just 3 hits that Jamestown has so far.
That's a hit by pitch. How is that?
And that hit was a nice hit down the right field line.
And Bigum holds up. And it was the first hit of the game for Jamestown as well, as it counts even at 1.
Wow. I've never heard of anything like that before.
Nice strong wrists there, keeping his bat back from crossing the plane of the plate.
And beyond on WRFA.
1-1 count, 2 outs. Next pitch, Bigum hits it, and it's going to go through into center for a base hit. So in spite of trailing by 7 runs, Bigum has been the bright star for Jamestown with his bat going 2 for 2.
And with a stolen base, with a delayed steal of second base in his last time on first base.
So King, who made that nice catch and right to end the top of the 5th inning and avoid a possible 9-0 deficit. He is up to bat, struck out swinging in his last one. Bigum's got a decent lead off of the base. He does have a steal. Here's the pitch. King hits it to third. Oh, it deflects off Jaffe. He bare hands it, hesitates, throws to first, and that's in time. So that completes 5 innings, and Jaffe, great catch on the bare hand, hesitated for a moment, but he got it over to Cersei in plenty of time. 7-0 after 5, but stick around for the 6th and more on WRFA. And we're about to start the top of the 5th inning here as it's the end of the night for Travis Perry. It's going to be Corey Shields on the rubber now for Jamestown. He is a pitcher from Mercer University. But for any listeners of the broadcast just tuning in or the watchers of the YouTube stream, a very goofy way, but it is not necessarily unusual to end the bottom of the 4th. The home plate umpire indicated that Campus intentionally leaned into the strike zone and the ball got him on the elbow guard. I do know that you can't lean in to purposefully take a hit by pitch.
And it did look like a strike to me, so I was a little bit confused as to what happened. So smart play, smart call by the umpire, but you know, Brazil was pretty upset, Campus was pretty upset, everyone was pretty mad at the call, but anyways, as Corey Shields takes the bump, I do have his stat line here. He has played in 5 games so far, amassing 6 innings pitched, allowing 2 hits and 2 runs respectively.
And we're about to start the top of the 6th inning here as Jamestown is in a 7-run hole here, down 7-0. As Shields is going to get another inning of work for Jamestown, and the batters who will be facing are the top of the order, Ducks and Fleming, who is in for Castellana. He again was injured in the 4th inning on a hit by pitch, left the game. Charlie Furlong pinch ran for him, and now Cole Fleming's behind the dish. And also Nick Cersei, who has hit 2 singles and scored a run.
And Dukes has also hit 2 singles and scored a run, but he also struck out in his last at-bat in the 4th inning. Not good for him.
Ortiz cleared the bases in his last at-bat. I'm not sure what the case was, but Geneva had Perry's number tonight. He had a single, and he scored a run. But sometimes even the best pitchers do have an off game here and there. As Shields will throw his next pitch.
Right now, he would get one of the 3 stars.
And that one is high for a ball.
And it seems like Shields is struggling to find the zone here in his outing here against the Red Wings.
1-0 on the way. This one is hit to left center, and Martinez under it makes the catch for the first out of the inning. And now it will be Cole Fleming, the catcher, his first at-bat of the game.
When that ball left the bat, I thought it might have had a chance to go over the WRFA. No fill-in right there. You know, WRFA, you better be listening to this right now. I thought it might have had a chance to leave the ballpark, but I saw Martinez wave off Durrell in left field, and
Probably what the indicator is.
knew he had it there for the first out, so it's just a long out, number 1.
Here comes Shields' next pitch on the way, and that's low, ball 1.
What the sign is, what the pitch is going to be, so got to have an indicator.
And this looks to be Fleming's first at-bat of the game.
Top of the hour, Skunks fans, you're listening to the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball. Next pitch on the way, and didn't go around Fleming, so count goes 2-0. Pitch hits the outside corner for strike 1.
Once again, a nice showing of strong wrists here in this game, making sure the bat stays back.
First strike. Ortiz is probably taking all the way there, though.
Next pitch was outside for ball 3. 0-1 pitch on the way for Shields.
3-0 here. Got to battle back if you're Corey Shields.
Here comes the pitch. And that one hits the heart, strike 1.
There, Norm.
And
Fleming has yet to swing the bat here in this at-bat, so he's got the green light now with the 3-1 count.
And here's the pitch, and that's high, ball 4. So first at-bat of the game for Fleming, he takes a free pass, and that is already the 3rd walk issued by Shields, as now it's going to be Nick Searcy, who has gotten 2 base hits. Again, he is number 8. The reason why he was number 39.
With a runner on first, we'll check Fleming's steal total.
Sometimes things like that do happen as the 0-2 pitch is on the way.
He's got 2 stolen bases on the year so far, so wouldn't be surprised. He does have a pretty sizable lead.
Here's the next pitch by Shields, and that's inside for a ball. Heading back to first, though, is Fleming. In that game against Orlando, he scored 49 points. And it looks like a time's being called by Brazil. I do think it's going to be a pitching change from what I'm seeing. Unless there's an injury, because the team medic is out there as well.
Some people wouldn't like it, though.
Brazil looked like in his last pitch he was trying to call a timeout from the bases umpire. Or the home plate umpire, excuse me. And I'm wondering if it's a foot or a leg. Here's the next pitch by Shields. Unless if it's his arm.
She's feeling around in his shoulder, trying to make sure everything's okay. Lifting it up and all that.
Yep, and there is somebody warming up in the bullpen, and it has been Nathan Smith the last couple of innings.
As he's walking back to the dugout, I can't say
when it's your throwing shoulder and you're starting to get some pain in that could be problematic.
Just a tad bit problematic. You never want that to happen.
It was a bit too delayed for my liking. If you're going to call it a strike, you got to call it a
So
strike.
it's getting tested out here by Shields. Scores 7-0 still in favor of Geneva. There is a runner on first after a walk issued to Fleming, and so far in an inning and a third, Shields has walked 3, and he's had a bit of issues so far this game with his control, so maybe it could be a possible shoulder problem, but looks like he's going to throw some warm-up pitches to see how it is, and if it's a no-go, we may see we will see a pitching change. Besides that, extending his way to third is Jaffe.
Feel bad for the medic and for Brazil. Going to have to take him out if he's not feeling all right. You never want to take a player out.
But at the same token, you don't want a possible injury where it could end the season, or a possible permanent injury where you can't play anymore. All I know is the most common injury for pitchers is the ulnar collateral ligament tear, the UCL, where if you pop that, you'll get a Tommy John. But it looks like he's all right. He's going to continue on in this inning as Searcy, who has 2 singles and has walked, But he's got the pop in the bat. He does have 6 home runs in the season, so if it's still bugging him and it's a possible hanging off speeder, we may see one into Canada as the next pitch hits the heart of the plate for strike 1. Counts even.
Speaking of Tommy John surgery there, Norm, I do have a question for you.
Yeah, Swiss cheese.
A lot of
Norm,
pitchers, young pitchers, get the Tommy John surgery just to get a couple extra miles an hour on the fastball, as that pitch is just a bit high for ball 2. How do you feel about that? Because I personally think that that's worse than getting steroids.
You really
Well,
just got to worry about attacking
You never
the hitter.
just if you're
Got
doing
2
that to add
open
some uppage on your
bases, so you never
fastball, that
really have
could
to
also be
worry
risky
about
because what if that
walking,
muscle, what if that ligament's healthy? You don't want to just take it out as the next pitch hits the heart of the plate for strike 2. And
for ball 3, 3-0.
My feeling on it is like if it's an optional surgery and you can play, like if you don't even get it, I think that should be illegal.
I think it's not smart.
Well, that too.
But counts even at 2s, 1 out. Here's the next pitch. Inside count goes full.
Staying in his game plan here, swinging at that pitch that was a little
It's
bit
kind of
outside.
strange, though, that was
Making
named
it a
after
3-1
a
count,
Yankees
though.
pitcher, though I don't believe he got it when he was a Yankee. He was a Dodger when he got the surgery done.
I believe so, yeah. And despite having a runner on first, we do have a bit of a shift to the right, as
Ball 4,
it doesn't
and
matter as it's ball 4.
if it's back far enough, nope, runner's going to go station to station. 4th walk issued by Shields, and the way Brazil's looking, I do think it's going to be a pitching change, and it's Evan Harrison now that's in the bullpen, number 14. He is a familiar face for Jamestown. He just returned to the team last week, from what I was told by some of the higher-ups of the team, and it looks like it's going to be the end of the evening for Shields, and this would not be a bad decision. You don't want to see him aggravating that injury even worse. It may be a strained muscle or a sore muscle, but from what I see, it's going to be Evan Harrison. He was a pitcher for Jamestown last year. He is from Mercyhurst University, and I do believe this is going to be his first game of the season.
And looking on the stat sheet, yes, it will be his first game of the season. He's not on the stat sheet. And
But I can also dig up some last year's stats as well, because again, he was on the team, and he saw several appearances in Dietrich.
that would be nice, Norm.
Winning with a good lead off of the base. Yep, again, it is number 14, Evan Harrison, on the rubber now for Jamestown. That's outside, 2-1. Also, looks like it's going to be a different school now. He was originally from Mercyhurst, but now he's at Gannon University from what I just saw on the Jumbotron. 2 outs.
My friend goes to Gannon University.
Here's the pitch.
Pretty cool.
Swing and a miss. Count goes even at so Jamestown in a 7-0 hole, and should Fleming and Cersei score, both runners will be charged to Shields. And the warm-up pitch is getting started by Harrison. Keep winning just like Charlie Sheen. All he does is win.
Nice young arm, an arm that I haven't seen yet. Sorry for stepping on your foot, Norm.
You're good.
I got
You didn't hurt me.
big giant feet, Norm.
I'm a size 14, I get it.
Size 15. Get on my level.
He's going to be on the move here
No
with the
thanks.
3-2.
I already have enough trouble ordering shoes and cleats for playing football as it is.
Yeah, I go to Olympia for basketball shoes. They only have size 13 shoes. It's like,
It's frustrating.
I mean, don't normally big people play basketball? I mean, wouldn't you want big shoes?
I think we all would.
Exactly.
So the next batter Harrison will be facing, it's going to be Gorham and Jaffe. Those will be the next 2.
And I sent executive
regarding the next batters up for Geneva.
And Jaffe looks to be doing pretty well, 2 for 3 with the 2 singles, or a single and a double, my bad, and 1 run scored. But he did pop up in that infield fly rule in his first at bat in the first inning. And it looks like all of our conferences are going to be done, and
Mcdermott, Dukes, and
the warm-up pitches will be ending soon. So
Indeed.
our first.
And thankfully I was able to finally find it. It took a little bit of time because sometimes the Wi-Fi isn't great. But Evan Harrison, he did go 4-1 last season. He
Good.
pitched in 9 games.
Nice.
Saw a couple of starts. He allowed 43 hits. His ERA was a 7.27.
Having a little
A
chat.
little bit less solid, but but that's okay.
This will be his first appearance of the season for Jamestown. Again, he just recently returned to the team as early as last week. His first pitch of the season is high for a ball. And again, it is Mike Gorham up the bat. Count 1-1, 2 outs. Bases are jammed up. Joffy's on
Getting ready for the 1-0 count.
Second, and Gelpy is on first. Winnie and Gelpy getting on by free pass. Here's the 1-0 by Harrison, and that's fouled off onto the netting of the grandstands for strike one.
Thought I was going to get another opportunity to catch a ball. Man, I really wish I would have tried for that one. I definitely could have caught it.
A possible bases clearing double. Well, counts even at ones, just one out. The triple sticks on the board. 4.5, score still 7-0. Harrison takes a check at Cersei. Next pitch on the way. This one is hit into the shallow part of the outfield. Zarowski chasing it down, makes the catch. Again, Fleming at second, Cersei at first, and now with 2 outs, it's going to be Ray Ortiz. No, I beg your pardon, Jordan Jaffe.
Catches, he thought they were all luck-based, but anyway.
Or a blind squirrel finding a nut.
Jaffe is up to bat. He's batted in each of the last 3 innings, including this one, and Ortiz is on deck.
Celebrating over 50 years.
He came close to going to bat twice in the 4th inning.
Excellent customer buying and ownership experience.
He was the batter before the last out, which was by Gorham. Here's the next pitch by Harrison, and that's low, ball 1.
Looked a bit good here, but the umpire has a bit of a high strike zone, so he's being a little bit consistent up in the in-strike zone, so it's pretty good on my part.
More information, call 1-866-931-2999.
1-0 count, next pitch by Harrison, and this one's hit the right. King covering some real estate. It's to the track, and it hits off the Plyler sign. And 2 runners are going to score. King's throw over to the Kaufman Zarowski, and that's going to be a 2 RBI triple for Jordan Jaffe. Get that man a hot cup of Java. Charlie Furlong, who was the pinch runner.
And that ball was opposite field, so you can't really get a lot of power to it, but that ball just kept going and going and going, and I thought Jordan King was going to be able to get under it and catch the ball, but just went off the sign, as he said, and bounced a little bit too far. I'm not sure if anyone called wall to Jordan King, but they're saying that he never touched second base, which the bases umpire confirms that he did. So it is, in fact, a triple that scored their 8th and 9th runs of the game.
Yes, it's Hardigan, Martinez, and I remember earlier in the season we saw a miscue on a tag-up, which resulted in an out. It was an improper tag from, I do believe it was from first to second, as the next pitch was outside for a ball.
Would have been from second to third.
It was one of the two, because there were runners on those bases, respectively.
Air-conditioned press box.
Next pitch on the way by Harrison, and that hits the outside corner, strike 1.
I believe it was Stenson who got out from the Auburn Double
A
A.
little too long. It's going to be a bloop out the center, and now it's going to be looking to get 10 runs on the board as Ortiz, who's got 3 RBIs already, hits one, and it's going to go fair in the left field. So give him his 4th RBI of the game, and also in his last 3 at-bats he's gotten them. And now it is 10-0 in favor of the Red Wings. And now up is going to be Max Hitman, who is 1 for 3. To start a rally here for Jamestown.
Max Hitman is the shortstop for today's game. Making a couple of nice plays, 1 for 3 with the stolen base on second, and you later scored, but in his 2 outs, you both grounded out to third, Cody Bay, as he fouls off the first pitch onto Faulkner Street to our right.
Third inning when Martinez was first up that he likes to
So again, Hitman looking to keep this inning going. 3 runs here in the 6th for Geneva. 10 runs on a dozen hits. Next pitch by Harrison is outside corner, strike 2. Bit of a delayed call, but it goes the way of Harrison. Here comes the next pitch.
And an 0-2 count might see the runners in motion as sort of a last-ditch effort, but with the 10-run lead, you don't really want to steal any bases.
That's a hit by pitch. Here's the next pitch by Harrison, and
was a
swing and a
nice
miss,
hit down
strike
the
3.
right field line.
So Geneva puts more damage on the board for themselves, extending their lead to double digits, 10-0. Max, my friend, do your stuff.
Hey, thank you very much. I'd like to remind you guys that support for WRFA's coverage of the Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball for the 2022 season is brought to you in part by the Chautauqua County Industrial Development Agency. The Chautauqua County IDA is an economic development organization authorized and empowered by New York State to make Chautauqua County a better place to work, live, and visit. The IDA facilitates development by attracting new businesses while also promoting the retention and expansion of existing businesses. And it offers businesses assistance in the forms of tax abatements, low-interest loans, and bond financing, all of which enhances the opportunities for job creation and retention by our businesses. The Chautauqua County IDA, a proud supporter of Jamestown Tarp Skunks baseball and WRFA. For more information, call 716-661-8900 or visit ccida.com. And Norm, they have made it to 10 runs over the Tarp Skunks.
6 runs in the 4th and 3 in the 6th, and Walter's getting another inning of work here, and even with all this run support he's getting, even if it was just a 1 or 2 run lead, Walters has pitched an absolute gem here at Dietrich.
And our executive producer, Jason Sample, is sneaking his way into the press box. Looks like he's a little confused.
Well, there was just something we heard from one of the fans that there was an echo that was sounding off on my headset, but I'm not too certain about it in all honesty. But it's going to be Thompson, Zarowski, and Tucker due up for Jamestown. Thompson got caught looking in his last at-bat, and entering his 6th inning, Walters had 3 1-2-3s as Thompson swings and misses for strike 1 in the dirt.
Tried to do too much with that pitch in the dirt. Wanted to hit it, a little bit out in front, but got nothing but air.
Next pitch on the way, that hits the outside corner for strike 2.
Pretty upset. Campus was pretty upset. Everyone was pretty mad at the call.
Jamestown held to just 4 hits so far in the first 5.5 innings of play here.
Walters has been on a roll as he stumbles while he's getting set on the mound.
All I know is if he were to stumble and then hold on to the ball, that would be a balk. In a 7-run hole here, down 7-0. But he's ahead in the count, 0-2. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And from taking a look at it, that is his 6th strikeout of the game. He didn't have any till the 3rd inning. And over the last 13 batters, or making now 14, he has struck out 6.
Pretty good on his part. He is just rolling through this Tarp Skunks lineup, just and pitching an absolute gem.
2 singles and scored a run, but he also
Here's Walters' next pitch on the way, and that hits the dirt ball 1. Zarowski did have a single in his last at-bat. He's got one of the team's 4 hits this evening.
It was an infield single, a swinging bunt to Jaffe over at third base.
He had a single, and he scored a run. But sometimes Walters gets the sign, comes set at the belt. Here's the 1-0. He went around, swings and misses strike 1. I think he was wanting that one back.
And while he was stepping out of the box, he was looking at his bat and he yelled at it. Not sure if he was actually yelling at the bat or probably yelling at himself through the bat.
I think it was the latter. As the 1-1 pitch, Zarowski pops it up. Going underneath, it's Martinez, but getting told to back away is Gorham. He catches the ball, though it's not the fellowship of the ring, as he makes a catch for out number 2. And again, Walters, he has a chance for his 3rd 1-2-3 inning of the game.
Leave the ballpark, but I saw Martinez.
And here would be a great time to produce that 3rd 1-2-3 inning, as it is in the bottom of the 6th. Right after they got their 10th run over the Tarp Skunks, is the first pitch of the at-bat. Is a ball outside.
And this looks to be Fleming's
And
first
I do believe, though, Jamestown can't get a run. The 10-run rule would be in effect, and that would be after 7 innings, as the next pitch was outside for ball 2. And Tucker, he, in his last at-bat, like you like to put on the scorecard from time to time, unassisted to Walters, the pitcher.
Yeah, 1U is something that I've rarely ever had to write down on a scorebook. So pretty happy with that as that ball is fouled off
Outside for
the
ball 3.
chain link fence in the grandstand.
Got to battle back if you're Corey.
It is batter's count, though, still
Here comes the
2-1.
pitch. And that one hits the heart, strike one.
Looking
Again,
for something
sorry.
to drive here. No worries, Norm.
Fleming has
Next
yet
pitch to
swing
Tucker
the
is
bat
outside
here in
ball
this
3.
at-bat,
Again,
so,
Tucker, for people that
green
aren't
light
sure
now
whether
with
they
the
listen to the
3-1
radio broadcast or watch the
here's the
YouTube
pitch.
stream, Tucker,
And that's high,
though he
ball
mainly
4.
bats lefty,
So
he
first
is a
at
switch
bat
hitter.
goes
He's the
Fleming.
only
He
one
takes
that's a
the
switch
free
hitter on
pass,
either
and
team
that
here
is
tonight.
already the third
3-1
walk
pitch
issued by
and
Shields.
inside ball
Now it's
4.
going to be
And that's
Nick
going to
Cersei,
be the first walk of the
has got
game
2 base
issued for
hits.
Walters, as now it'll be Cody Bay, who does have a single.
With a runner on first.
No time like the present to battle back after a walk. He said it's his first walk of the game, and yes, it is, but
2 stolen bases.
you
on
have
the
to
year
start
so far.
somewhere, and
Indeed.
if you're the Tarp Skunks, now is the time to do so.
It's rally o'clock somewhere, and it's got to be now. Again, if it stays 10-0 after 7, this game's over via the 10-run mercy rule. And more often than not, Jamestown has been the victimizer. And grounder over to Jaffe, he'll just settle for the force at second. And that's the end of 6 here at Dietrich. Jamestown still behind 10-0. And unless they can get a run on the board, they're starting to really run out of chances. But stick around for the top of the 7th right here on WRFA.
Last pitch, he was trying to call a timeout from the bases umpire, or the home plate umpire, excuse me. And I'm wondering if maybe if it's a foot or a leg, or unless if it's his arm.
She's feeling around in his shoulder, trying to make sure everything's okay. Lifting it up and all that.
Yep, and there is somebody warming up at the bullpen, and it has been Nathan Smith the last couple of innings. When it's your throwing shoulder and you're starting to get some pain in that, that could be problematic.
Just a tad bit problematic. You never want that to happen.
So it's getting tested out here by Shields. Score 7-0 still in favor of Geneva. There is a runner on first after a walk issued to Fleming, and so far in an inning and a third, Shields has walked 3, and he's had a bit of issues so far this game with his control, so maybe it could be a possible shoulder problem, but looks like he's going to throw some warm-up pitches to see how it is.
And we're about to start the top of the 7th inning here of Skunks baseball. Jamestown in what's become more of a trend here at home throughout the season. They're in a big hole here, 10-0, and they cannot afford to give up any more runs because, again, they are in danger of being mercy ruled for the the 4th time this season.
And that is a
worst way to lose.
yeah, that is the worst way to lose. Always hurts a little bit extra when you just get mercy ruled. You almost want to just finish the game out, no matter how bad it is.
Even so, Evan Harrison's getting another inning of work. Here comes his next pitch. And that's low ball 1, and also from catching this in the stat line, wearing a different jersey number than he did last season. He's 14 this year, and the season before he was number 20.
As the next pitch hits the
As he gets the sign from campus, here's the 1-0, and that is on the outside corner, strike 1.
I have a question for you. A lot of pitchers, young pitchers,
So count
get
even
the
at
Tommy
once,
John surgery
as
just
it's
to get
Winnie,
a couple
Gelpy,
extra
and
miles
McDermott
down on
due
the
up.
fastball, as that pitch is just
Here's the
that
next
high
pitch.
for ball 2.
This one's hit over to
do you feel about
Zarowski,
that?
and he bobbles it. Can't get a clean hold, and he's safe. And that looks like it's going to be an E6.
I was looking at the stat sheet, so I couldn't really tell what it was, and yes, it is ruled an E6. Unfortunately, Zarowski couldn't quite get a handle on it, which is something that he normally is pretty good at. So
Yep,
that should be
but
illegal.
even the best fielders do commit an error here and there. There is no such thing as perfect as due
except
up
for
now.
a perfect game. I mean, those are pretty perfect.
No pitcher's ever thrown more than one, as this one is hitting the gap to left field. Chasing it down, though, and making the catch is Will Durrell for a loud out number one.
I believe so, yeah. You know, at first glance, I thought that ball was just going to cruise right into the gap and fall for at least a double, scoring one run. But Will Durrell was on his horse, running right to where the ball was, and I don't think he made one miscalculated step. That was exceptional work from the Tarp Skunks left fielder.
Is a familiar face for Jamestown. He just returned.
So Mcdermott looking for his first hit of the game. Here comes the next pitch by Harrison, and it's low for ball one. And from Zarasi's error, this was something I meant to mention to you, Max, because I saw this last night on ESPN. Detroit Tigers, their left fielder, Robbie Grossman, he ended his streak. He dropped a fly ball in the 8th. Before that, he had a streak of 440 consecutive games without committing an error, as that ball's fouled off for a strike. 440 games, that's almost 3 years.
That is almost 3 years, and that is
wow,
pretty good, actually, but
I can also dig up some
it's a long time.
because again, he was on the team, and he saw.
Did he win
appearances
Golden Glove
in
Award?
That'd be nice.
Or no?
I'll take a look while we wait for the next pitch by Harrison. A timeout was called. The count's even at ones with one out, so we've got that triple deuces, or the triple sticks on the board.
Also, looks like it's going to be a different.
Harrison taking a check at first. Winnie got there by an E6 to start it off in the 6th. This one's popped up, but it looks like it's going to go out of play. Campus chasing it down. Oh, and he almost got there, but he ran out of real estate, hitting the backstop.
And should Fleming and Cersei score,
And
both runners will be charged to Shields.
good effort there by Campus, but couldn't quite get to it, and he would have made his face, the left side of his cheek look like shredded cheese with the netting embedding a little bit into the face. And to answer your question, Grossman has never won a Gold Glove.
Big giant feet.
And I believe on that pop fly, the home plate umpire got in the way of Johnny Campus, which kind of hindered his opportunity to catch that pop fly.
Here's the 1-2, and that's high, ball 2.
Could have at least given him the strikeout after doing that to him, but I don't know. That pitch looked right down the pipe. I'm not so sure.
I thought it hit the heart of the plate, but the call's a call.
Got him throwing into a soup can today.
So the next batter, Harrison, will be
as long as it's clam chowder of New England. This one's hit the right. Looks like it's going to go foul. King chasing it down, and
regarding the next batters.
It's called a foul ball. Very fortunate that it was called that. From my view, it went to the right side of the pole, which is foul. If it would have been on the left, or if it would have hit the pole, then it's a home run.
And if I were Johnny Campus and he called that one a home run, even if it was fair, I would have. You know, let me tell you something. I would have been ejected because I would have been screaming at him.
That happened, yeah, you know what's funny? That happened to A.J. Burnett near the end of his career. There was a pitch that should have been called a strike 3 on a swing and miss, but it was ruled a foul. And then the next pitch, the guy hits a homer.
Yeah, I mean,
it took a little bit of time because sometimes
I have to say, man, you know, sometimes we live and die by our mistakes, and we win and lose by the umpire's mistakes. I'll tell you that.
2-2 pitch on the way. This one's fouled off and out of play into the bleachers.
Solid, but that's okay.
Count even at 2s, 1 out.
Again, he just recently.
Again, Mcdermott looking for his first hit of the game.
And he almost got his first hit of the game and his first home run of the season, I believe.
So Mcdermott, a southpaw, looking to extend Geneva's lead. Harrison takes the sign. Here's the pitch. Swung on. That's going to go into right, base hit. 13th hit of the game for Geneva. Heading over to third is going to be Winnie, and he gets there safely. Wild throws, Zarasi can't quite get it, but it's nowhere near to where it could have gone far enough for Winnie to head home. But Shane Ducks, who is 2 for 4, is back up to bat. Mcdermott with his first hit of the game.
And Campus is giving the stink eye to the umpire, as I called prior.
And now with 2 outs, it's
Can't say I blame him. It's been a couple of rough games for him at home, umpire-wise.
Yeah, last game there was a clear tag out on Frank Wayman that was called safe, but stuff like that sadly happens sometimes as the next pitch is fouled off by Ducks for strike 1.
Let me tell you something. I am still against the idea of robo-umps, even with that.
He came close to going to bat twice.
Because if it's right every time, then it's like, what's there to argue about?
Exactly. It takes away the human aspect of the game as that pitch was called low, even in the count at ones.
So 1-1 count and 1 out. Runners are at the corners. McDermott's at first. Winnie's at third.
Being a little bit consistent.
Here's the next pitch by Harrison. This one is hit the right. Looks like it'll be deep enough to tag up home for Winnie. And King makes the catch, and advancing to home plate is Winnie. So Ducks does get the job done. He drives in an RBI, extends Geneva's lead to 11-0. Now they've scored at least 1 run in 3 of the last 4 innings as Cole Fleming, who has walked in his first at-bat, is back up.
And now you got 2 down. Looks like there's no new action in the Tarp Skunks bullpen, but there are 2 pitchers, both of them right-handers, in the Red Wings bullpen.
Yes, there are.
Stretching and tossing, probably to relieve Walters from his gem, his 6-inning shutout. I almost said no hitter. That's not true. As the first pitch was outside for a ball. Here's the 1-0.
Bases umpire
Fouled off, and
Everybody duck.
So it is, in fact, a
And it plays Plinko on the netting.
yeah.
8 and 9.
Are you a gambling man, Norm?
Sometimes all I know is the price was wrong, Bobby.
Hate it when that happens, I can tell you that.
1-1 count, 2 outs. Fleming, who was, again, he was walked in his first at-bat. He was a substitution for Castellana, as this is fouled off again to the concourse, making the count 1-2. 11 runs on 13 hits for the Red Wings. They are flying high this evening and probably saying to Jamestown, I just want to wish you good luck. We're all counting on you. 1-2 pitch by Harrison. Chopper to third. Bay fields it. He'll just dink it over to Tucker at second for the force out. And Geneva does add a run to their lead, but this is Jamestown's last chance. They got to get at least 2 runs to avoid being mercy ruled. And with that, Max, as we hit the top or the 7th inning stretch, I'm going to shift it over to you.
Hey, thank you very much. I'd like to tell you guys that support for WRFA is brought to you in part by the Heron Farm and Event Center in Sherman, New York. The Heron is home to the Great Blue Heron Music Festival and the Heron Campground. For 4 weekends in July, August, and September, the Heron will present Beyond the Blue 2022 Summer Music Series, featuring more than 30 different musical acts. The first Beyond the Blue installment will take place on Saturday, July 16th, and will feature Upstate, the Arcadian Wild, Folk Faces, the Plate Scrapers, and more. Other dates later this summer include Saturday, July 30th, Saturday, August 20th, and Labor Day weekend. And don't forget the annual Dave McDonald 5K Heron Trail Run on Sunday, August 14th. For more information on the Summer Music Series, including a list of all performers as well as ticket prices, visit theheron.org or call 716-761-7190. And I must say, Scotty James has a really good voice. I think it's better than the kazoos that we heard last game.
Well, there's not always going to be positive reviews, my friend, as Walters is going to get another inning of work, as it's going to be the 4 through 6 batters, Durrell, Campus, and Hardigan. And if Jamestown fails to do anything in this inning, this game's over by the mercy rule. And tomorrow, it's not going to be any easier for Jamestown because they're on the road against the Batavia Muck Dogs, and Batavia has owned them all season long. They've outscored them 38-14. They're averaging 9.5 runs a game, and their average deficit of victory, their margin, 6 runs. So it's not going to get any easier tomorrow.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but the Tarp Skunks haven't beaten the Muck Dogs yet this season.
They have not.
Oh, man.
And then they're also at home again on Wednesday against Niagara, and they're back home again on Friday for another battle with Batavia. So they're going to be facing Batavia 2 times in a span of 4 days. One on the road again and one back here.
Now, unfortunately, I won't be here for the game on Wednesday, but I won't. Yeah, I won't be here for the game on Wednesday against Power, but I will be here on the game on Friday. Here's the first pitch to Durrell. It's a chopper to second base, fielded easily and thrown off to Cersei for the out.
Our executive producer,
And
One pitch, one out.
one pitch, one out, and the chances for the Tarp Skunks are looking a little bit meager as Johnny Campus is getting a bit of a standing ovation here.
Yeah, for that effort of a catch. But right now, the bats, it's just been like hitting the iceberg on the Titanic. It has been a disaster all game offensively for Jamestown, and it just spread like wildfire slowly but surely. And I think it came to a head in the 4th inning when they gave up 6 runs as Campus swings and misses on the first pitch he sees in this at-bat for strike 1. He's 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout.
And you mentioned that it just fell apart, but that's what happened the last time I was here at home.
Indeed.
Like everything was going very well as that pitch was ruled outside to even the count at 1s, but everything was going well. It was a 1-0 game until the 6th inning, and then it just the wheels fell off the wagon, I guess, and they allowed, what was it, 6 runs, making it a 7 or an 8-0 game as that ball is roped to the shortstop who fields it on a hop and throws on to Cersei again for out number 2.
Last gasp here for Jamestown because, again, this is beyond the 10-run rule. It's only a 12-run after 6. We're at 7, which would be the 10-run rule. It's 11-0, so if Hardigan cannot get on base by rule, this game's over.
And that's never good. It really isn't, but here's Hardigan. Going to try and score.
On his part, he is just
Why wouldn't he try and score, Norm?
Well, it would still mark it a 10-run deficit, though. They got to get at least 2. Here's the pitch. Low and inside for ball 1, and Hardigan, he's 0 for 2. He's grounded out and flown to center as the southpaw will get back in and get ready to see the next pitch. Jamestown held to 4 hits in this game, and coincidentally, that's not the fewest they've had in a game, as this one is chopped foul for strike 1. The fewest they had was in the first game of the season, albeit it was a non-leaguer versus Olean, where they won 2-0 in spite of just having a single hit in the game.
Who got that hit? Do you remember?
I'm going to take a look right now, actually,
If he was actually yelling at the bat, or probably
because I do still have all these from even last year as well. But Walter's getting the sign here from his catcher, Fleming. And here's the 1-1. And that hits the heart of the plate for strike 2. And for Jamestown, it was Nate Johnson who had that hit.
Oh, good for him. And
It was for an RBI.
Jamestown is down to their final strike of the evening.
Yes, they are. And Hardigan looking to just get on base any way he can. Again, they have been neutralized here tonight. Here's the 1-2 by Walters on the payoff. It hits the dirt. Count goes even at 2s. And Skunks are also in danger of being shut out at home for the 2nd time this season.
And the 2nd time of their life.
As the Skunks.
As the Skunks, I should say, yeah.
Because I'm sure when the Jammers were minor leagues, they got shut out a lot because when they were in the minors, they were not great. But here's the 2-2. It's going to be a grounder to Ortiz. He fields it cleanly. Throwing it first to Cersei in time, and that's going to be the ball game. Again, with it being the 10-run rule after 7, by rule, this game is over. Jamestown shut out at home for the 2nd time this season, 11-0. They are on the road tomorrow against Batavia, and they'll be back here on Wednesday against the Niagara Power, who they did beat 20-4 just yesterday on the road. And again, I would say another weak showing, sadly, by Jamestown.
It definitely was a weak showing. Everything was going well, as we mentioned, but wheels just came off in the 4th inning, and frankly, nothing much they could have done after that, especially with their Walters putting on such a good performance on the mound, allowing only 4 hits throughout the 7th inning.
And he also struck out 6 batters, and he pitched a beauty. It's a case of giving the credit where credit's due, and Again, final score, Geneva 11 and Jamestown nothing. That's going to do it for tonight's coverage of Jamestown Tarp Skunk Baseball, brought to you by WRFA. The final score once more, Jamestown getting shut out at home against Geneva 11-0. Thank you to our studio engineer, Gavin Patterny, as well as one of the two WRFA intern members, Max Pinjator, for my broadcast partner, Max Pinjator, along with our good friend and executive producer, Jason Sample. I'm Norm Rodriguez saying thank you for listening to Jamestown Tarp Skunks Baseball right here on WRFA. We will see you all on Wednesday. Stick around for the top of the 7th right here on WRFA.
Trying to call a timeout from the bases umpire, or the home plate umpire, excuse me. And I'm wondering if maybe if it's a foot or a leg.